Brought to you by Little Guys Movers. Here's your chance to be your own boss. Join their team of 30-plus years of profits and good times. Visit littleguysfranchise.com. Robby Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Max Hers here with you on this Tuesday morning in Nashville, Tennessee. Hope everybody's doing well. Joe Rexrode, what's going on? How's life?
Life's good. I had a little bit of a mishap with clothing this morning. Debating whether or not to do a public scolding on that, or do I just keep my mouth shut and sometimes suck it up? I don't know. There's a rant later. May or may not be involved in the rant.
Okay.
Doing fine.
Good. I like that. Nice teaser there. Max Hers along with us here today, who at the moment I don't think can hear me. Max, how we doing?
I'm just now realizing that I forgot my headphones.
Oh, really?
I did hear that.
Well, we got 65 pair of them in here.
But they're just in the other room. It'll be okay.
That's right.
I'm going to go get them.
Thank you, Max. Oh, man. Good stuff. We got Josh Ward coming up.
And good night, everybody.
And we'll see you later. Josh Ward from WNML in Knoxville coming up at 6:30. We'll get the latest on all things Tennessee Vols sports. Jeff Calkins at 8 o'clock discussing the Memphis Grizzlies. Playoffs right around the corner. John Morant is back, and Memphis looking to make a deep run in the NBA playoffs. Charles Robinson at 9, Chris Mason at 9:30. Looking forward to a big one coming up tonight at Bridgestone Arena between the Preds and the San Jose Sharks. Joe, we were talking yesterday about the Predators, and we spent a lot of the show talking about, they've got so many guys having career years, and you've got all these different players out there that are establishing either new career highs or getting close to career highs in offensive numbers. So why is it that they're right on the playoff fringe in terms of the standings? And there were a variety of different opinions on that. I had somebody text me after the show yesterday and brought up what I thought were some good points. And it's not just like the losses to the Buffaloes of the world and stuff like that, but like there are 2 or 3 games that really stand out. Like think back to the road game at Philly when I think they were up 5-4 in the third period with a couple minutes left, and they ended up losing that game in regulation. Don't get a point out of it. The Seattle game on the road, you're up 2-0 in that game. You have this basically 2.5, 3-minute stretch in the second period that seriously may have been the worst 3-minute stretch they've had all season long, and you end up with 3 in the back of your net in that stretch. You lose that game in regulation, and you had a lead in Columbus as well, where I think you ended up getting 1 point out of it, but you blew that lead towards the end too. That's 5 points right there. Think about where they'd be if you add 5 points to the standings right now. You'd be right there with Minnesota and St. Louis in the conversation. So does that totally change things, those 3 games right there where you had leads and you just let them get away from you towards the end, with bad teams? I don't know if it totally changes the story, but those are 3 games that come to mind where you had things going your way, and in 2 of those cases, you don't even get out of there with a point in those games.
Yeah. Now, I would ask, and honestly, nothing comes immediately to mind, but are there games against good teams where they had incredible escapes to get a point or to get
I think there is
2 points?
Yep.
I mean, usually in a 82-game season, you're going to have everything.
Sure.
So you could always look at those. I mean, it's like the Titans season. They lose to the freaking Texans at home.
Yeah.
And some of some of the performances and losses they had, they're mind-boggling, but also like, wow, they went without Derrick Henry, they more than balanced themselves out.
Well, think about the one game that immediately came to mind when you said that was Dallas a few weeks ago. Here, you're down 1-0 going into the third, and Yossi scores with like a minute left. You win the game.
There you go. Yeah, there's a good one. Yeah, so you got some of those too, but I do feel like if 8 is the number, of games that you would look at and say, man, you got to win those games. You're not going to win all 8, but split those. There's 8 points, right? Or get a point, get 6 of those points. And it's kind of the same idea. So, yeah, I mean, if they don't make the playoffs, I think the Seattle stretch, which was just bizarre, just considering the opponent, the situation, that really looked like a team that was just like, okay, we can go on cruise control. And then it was like, uh-oh. Like that one will be probably remembered.
Well, and we talked about it at the time because right after that, they started to play a little bit better, and it kind of felt like that Seattle game was the one where you're like, oh, man. Like, it just stuck with them. Like, they had film sessions about it. They went through that stretch and said, you can't let this happen again. I don't know. It's an 82-game season. You can point at stuff every year where you let something get away from you, or you go through a 5-minute stretch where that totally changes an outcome. But I did get to thinking about it yesterday. Like, that's just the margin of error in this league. If you have an additional 4 points right now, if you're the Predators, just think about how much better you're feeling heading into this week right now. If you're at 91 points right now instead of 87,
Yeah, it's
doesn't sound like a whole lot, but it's a huge difference.
It's totally different. It's totally different. Again, hey, 96 is the most a non-playoff team has ever had. So by history, you should still be in good shape. Then again, at some point, records are broken, and is this a year like a 98-point team doesn't make it because the other two teams go on tears at the end? I mean, it is possible.
Well, and it's an interesting week this week. Not only for yourself, you got a 5-game homestand coming up, but looking at Dallas' schedule, they've got Tampa Bay tonight at home, Minnesota on Thursday, and then San Jose on Saturday. But those next two, Tampa Bay and Minnesota, this could be one of those things where you're rooting for the defending Cup champions to give you some help tonight. And by the way, it's an 8:30 start tonight for the Stars at home, which is interesting.
Great for the kids.
Yeah, great for the children. But they play Tampa tonight and then Minnesota on Thursday. And then you look over at the Vegas side of things. I think they've got Vancouver late tonight on the road, and then Calgary and Edmonton later this week. So maybe a situation where, number one, if you're the Predators, you're worried about taking care of your own business, but maybe you could get some help this week.
Yeah, you might be feeling better about things. Again, just you take care of two of the next 3 games are games that you just should win. But how many times have we said it that it didn't turn out that way? By the way, as Max pointed out, ESPN game. So TV rules all. As always, forget your home crowd and your children you'd like to bring to the hockey game. You're going to be on ESPN, 9:30 Eastern, so There you go.
Nice and 9:30 Eastern start for the Tampa fans that would like to watch on ESPN. Yeah. Be good stuff.
Well, people in Florida stay up very late, is my understanding.
Yes, they do. This is a game they should win tonight against San Jose. I mean, San Jose, they're just not good right now. They're making some changes to their front office, and they're a team really with, they got Hurdle back in there. Carlson signed that big contract, but they're kind of just floating right now. A team that's not really close, and they don't, to me, have a ton of young guys where you're thinking they're all that close to being good at this point. I mean, you did beat them 8-0 the last time you saw them, so that's probably going to be on their mind, I would guess, coming into this game tonight. But absolutely a game that you should take care of business if you're the Predators.
Yeah, you don't want to be talking tomorrow about, if only you could have saved a couple from the last time, right? Yeah, I mean, this is, it's one thing I love about this league, one of many things, is that you really, these teams can play spoiler, and they do play spoiler all the time down the stretch. You see it every year that shocking losses happen to teams that are just playing up the string, and they influence the standings. That's great. It's great for the league. Something to be wary of. And the Preds at this point have got to be sick of hearing about how they played down to another team.
Also had this theory floated out at me yesterday. I want to get your thoughts on this. Saros did not travel on Sunday to Pittsburgh. And the theory is they are so intentional about getting him rest the other day that they didn't even want him going on the plane. They brought up Connor Ingram. They knew David Riddick was going to start anyway, and that he could get all 4 of these this week with San Jose, Edmonton, Chicago, and St. Louis. With the 11:30 start on Saturday and then the 5 o'clock start on Sunday, you're not having to travel. Both are at home, saying that Saros could go all 4 of these. What do you think of that, even the back-to-back?
Yeah, I mean, he's said to have an illness. I mean, yeah, maybe. I guess I could buy that. Or if it was a little sniffle, okay, that's enough. You stay back.
Yeah.
But I could see that being the plan to get him all 4 of these. I think I could make a case still in the name of there's still other big games down the road. Plus, you want him to be as fresh as possible for the playoffs to still give Big Save Dave, one of those two on the weekend.
Well, and I think some of it depends on how it goes, right? Like if you win the first two, do you consider giving Riddick the third one against Chicago? If you win the first three, at that point, I'm probably definitely giving Riddick St. Louis at that point. I mean, I don't know how they're going to handle it, but maybe some of it's playing it by ear too.
Yeah, that's a thought. Because, if you have a really big week and some of the things go well around you, next week after Calgary, you have 3 days before the trip to play at the Lightning. So you could be all of a sudden looking at, okay, now you can get Saros all that extra rest and maybe not even have to use him at the end.
Yeah.
A lot of ways it could go, even with 10 games.
Evgeny Malkin suspended 4 games by the National Hockey League for the cross-check.
You had no faith?
Mark Borowiecki. I did not have faith. This was a pleasant surprise that they actually suspended Evgeny Malkin. Like, it doesn't really make any difference to the Penguins at this point because we know what the 8 teams in the East are. But
doesn't help the Preds.
4-game suspension for Malkin.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's. I'm glad to see it.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't do that. It should be a gimme. I heard those guys on DDC talking about how, because I missed this on the broadcast, but like they have in place a mechanism where they can review that stuff. Mm-hmm. Now it's supposed to be if you call a major, you review it, but like maybe take a look rather than come up with the phantom penalty the other way. Like,
still don't know what that part was about, but it was good to see the NHL actually suspended because I didn't think they would, first off, and secondly, if they did, I thought it'd be like a game. So now 4 games it's good. I like it.
Can that hurt them? Let's see. I mean, they're already kind of – are they going to be –
Oh, they're going to make the playoffs.
Well, I know they're in the playoffs, but, I mean, they were fighting to have home ice first round. I think they've lost like 4 or 5, right?
Yeah, I mean, they're in the top 3 right now. They're 6 back of the Rangers. So
any chance they could be dumped to the wild card?
With how they've played against the Rangers, they probably would want to move down. Honestly, the Rangers own the Penguins these last couple months.
So what you're saying?
Pretty good.
So what you're saying is that they gave the NHL the okay to suspend Malkin so that they could move down.
This is a deep.
Yep.
Now it makes more sense.
Yep. There it is.
Did they receive a Bill Belichick text message as well? Can we add him to the list?
Oh, Evgeny. Oh, it's the wrong Evgeny.
Evgeny. Sorry, got a few of those in my phone. Just sent the wrong one. We're off and running here today on Robby and Rexrode, taking your thoughts on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025, 615-737-1025. We'll continue the conversation on the Preds. How much do Preds fans care that they are consistently in the playoffs every single year, or would you rather be bad and then maybe compete for championships? That's an interesting question that Preds Twitter threw out the other day. I want to get your thoughts. 615-737-1025. This is Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 1025, The Game.
Every Friday at 8:30 on Robby and Rexrode, we talk with the legend, Terry Chris, about all things Nashville Predators, presented by Copper Branch on ESPN 1025 The Game and The Game Nashville app.
The 2022 Major League Soccer season is officially here, and the Nashville SC Stadium nearly complete. Don't miss Nashville SC's home opener May 1st. Grab a seat at nashvillesc.com/22ticks.
The 2022 Major League Soccer season is officially here, and Nashville SC's new home, Geodis Park, is nearly complete. Don't miss Nashville SC's home opener May 1st. Secure your season tickets now. Come on and grab a seat at nashvillesc.com/22ticks.
Genesis Diamond's most anticipated event of the year is coming next weekend, April 22nd through 24th. Huge store-wide savings, plus thousands of new, unique designs from the biggest names in jewelry. All new collections, 2 years in the making, from names like Tacori, Verragio, and more. Rings, earrings, pendants, bands, many never seen before, and all specially priced for this 3-day event. Save up to 35%, zero interest financing. Bring your old jewelry and trade up. April 22nd through 24th, only at Genesis Diamonds, Green Hills, and Cool Springs.
ESPN 1025 The Game and Smokeville Smoke Shop want to send you to an upcoming Nashville Predators home game. All you have to do is come into Smokeville Smoke Shop at 699 West Main Street in Hendersonville Wednesday, April 20th for their 420 Blowout event and visit the game table to enter. While you're at it, be sure to stick around and take advantage of Smokeville Smoke Shop's store-wide discounts, free dab bar, as well as on-site food and dessert trucks and live music. Visit Smokeville Smoke Shop on Instagram for more.
Erectile dysfunction ruins sex, but it's more than that. It harms otherwise good relationships. It destroys marriages. It can cause depression and anxiety, and it can be extremely hard on a man's self-esteem. This is Kim for the Tennessee Men's Clinic. And if you're suffering with ED, if it's affecting you, I want you to know that if you're like most men, we can treat it and get you back to the man you used to be. At the Tennessee Men's Clinic, we're ED experts. Our protocols have success rates as high as 90%. We've successfully treated thousands of men in the Music City, and we have a variety of treatment options and treatment combinations that could have you performing like you haven't in years. You could even last up to an hour and experience great sex again that is satisfying for both you and your partner. In treating your health, expertise matters. So make an appointment today. Your initial appointment is only $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. Call 615-208-9090 or go to TennesseeMen'sClinic.com. Visit our website to learn more, including side effects. Treatments extra. Results vary.
This is a metaphor for your business's journey. Sometimes it feels like you're going 100 miles an hour, barely keeping up. But to cruise through challenges, you need someone who's right there with you. That's what Dell Technologies advisors do. They have the Windows PCs and tech advice you need to get past whatever's in front of you and get where you want to go. Call an advisor today at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL. A start to a simpler experience with Windows 11 Pro.
Interact with Robby and Rexrode. Call or text the show at 615-737-1025. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game. Robby Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Max Hers here with you on this Tuesday morning in Nashville, Tennessee. Streaming live on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. Our video streaming brought to you by the law offices of Amanda Gentry. We are live from the Hillside Medical Game Studio on this Tuesday morning. Josh Ward from WNML in Knoxville coming up at 6:30. Looking forward to that conversation. Right now, taking your thoughts on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025. James texting in says, I saw Saros yesterday. He was shopping in his pajamas. Looked pretty rested to me. Need to win 5 to get in. So we have visual confirmation from James that Saros is okay. He looks good. That's a power move, shopping in pajamas. I like that.
Okay, now, if you saw UC Saros shopping in pajamas, you didn't get a picture? Come on, let's see some visual evidence. Is it pajamas? Is it just like a really cool, like Finnish kind of pant that I'm
Probably
not
is.
aware of? Perhaps.
Probably is.
Okay. I mean, you never know.
I mean, he's a stylish guy, man.
Is he?
Yeah.
See, the thing is, it's like it's been so long since, just like the normalcy of being around the locker room and guys walking out and stuff. I can't even remember UC Saros in regular clothes.
I don't know that I've ever seen him without like a toque on.
What's he wear?
I mean, honestly, he wears a lot of like hoodies and sweatpants.
Okay.
But they just are really fancy.
So he actually
hoodies.
does wear jammies?
Yeah, he really does. Yeah.
Good for you, UC.
Yeah. It's all about comfort, man.
Yeah, I agree. Sweatpants, sweatsuit. I mean, shoot, college basketball coaches are doing that to the chagrin of some.
Yes, it's a big problem in sports, according to some.
It's a big. It's any of the ills of the sporting world can be tied to that. Jerry Stackhouse is going to be the last coach wearing a suit in about a year.
Good thing he is. Otherwise, just imagine what it would be like over there, according to some.
Exactly. And by the way, great suits.
Yes. So, John, I saw this question get thrown out there the other day, and I'm interested to get your thoughts on it. The Predators have not missed the playoffs since 2014. They're in the playoffs pretty much every year. We talked about it yesterday. Since they came into the league, I think they missed the playoffs their first 5 seasons and then have missed it 3 times since then, which is incredible. Like they've been very consistent in that regard. I think they've got the second longest streak in the NHL right now in terms of consecutive playoff appearances. So, I mean, they're right there every year in the conversation of making the playoffs. And the question that was posed was, if you're a Predators fan, does that matter to you? Do you care that they're consistently in the playoffs every single year, even though they've not won a championship yet? Or would you rather be, I guess, a little bit more inconsistent up and down in terms of making the playoffs, with the idea that when you're bad, maybe you can draft some players that make you more likely to win a championship? What's kind of the way that you view this, and the way that Predators fans, you think, view the consistency of at least making the playoffs that they have?
I understand people get bored of it or tired of it, or you don't want to just be a so-so team year after year. But I'm with Kelton here on the text line. I would take consistency making the playoffs. Sooner or later, one of these playoff appearances is going to turn into a cup run. And I know some fans would be like, when? And I would say, well, it was 5 years ago. Yeah. But, yeah, I just think the plan of bottoming out and blowing it all up, I mean, sometimes you have to. And if you really don't have a good core, like I could look at San Jose, tonight's opponent, and say, when are your couple good players ever going to matter again? I mean, like you could make the case for them to just completely strip it down. But with the Preds, you have to go situationally. With the Preds specifically, still think that they have enough of a core right now and enough good young guys who are promising, who certainly have to get better, but could get better, that you could keep having good teams. Great teams? I don't know about that, but I would much rather take my chances as a fan of a team. I would much rather take my chances with good teams that get to the postseason and hope that you can either get young players emerging or you can find the room to go get a big-time player in free agency than let's really suck and hope that we can get a pick that hopefully in that particular year is a generational player. It's just a bad way to try to plan things.
I would say more so in this sport maybe than any other sport professionally out there. I'm cool with just making the playoffs because it just feels like, I think everybody says this in every sport. In the NBA, we know it's absolutely not true. In the NFL, most years it's not true. In the NHL, it's probably true too often that if you get in, you've got a chance to make a run. Now, it doesn't happen all the time, and people, I think, sometimes take the conversation too far. Like, more times than not, the best team generally wins the cup. I mean, Tampa Bay's won the cup the last 2 years. They've been the best team.
Or one of the best,
one of the
two,
best
3 teams, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Washington
Usually.
a few years ago. I mean, Pittsburgh went back to back. Like, you got to be. There are some things that have really got to happen. If you're just going to get straight up hot, like Montreal last year, and go win the thing, there's a lot of things that have to go right. But having said that, it is more often in this tournament, really than any other one in sports, where you can just get in, you start to play well, you get hot, and you can make a run. Now, I think you got into it with somebody on Twitter yesterday about the just the randomness of the NHL and how maybe it happens a little bit too much with the lower seeds advancing in the playoffs, but it's also, I think, part of what makes the Cup playoffs fun. Everybody's got a chance.
I love it. I wouldn't change a thing. I think people who complain about it, it's like, look, I love the NBA playoffs too, but in a lot of years, like in the first round of the NBA playoffs, there's like one series that I want to watch. And the rest of them are just, maybe there's 2 on each side. That's not good. Every series in the Stanley Cup playoffs matters. Yes, it was Graham Couch, good friend of mine, columnist at the Lansing State Journal. He was one of the 2 choices I gave Tom Izzo last week about the most annoying person on the beat. He didn't win. He's also like best friends with Scott Powers. You may know Scott.
Yeah.
An athletic OG covering the Blackhawks. But yes, here's Graham's take. If you want the NHL regular season to have meaning, you can't have years when all the lesser seeds in one conference win in the first round of the playoffs. Best way to fix it, eliminate the hot goalie. Don't let the lesser seed play the same goalie 2 games. Shut up, what? But
just take your goalie out.
Yeah, but this is what we have is we have this thing now on Twitter, which is like canceling each over. Yeah. I mean, the only thing I jumped in on was the food one because I said that pickled beets are amazing. I eat them by the jar. I didn't really get a lot of response to that. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about pickled beets.
Thank you.
Also, he had another idea that was like, however many points advantage you have over the team you're playing, you should have like more home. Like, in other words, if you have like 30 points on the team you're playing in the first round, you should get like 6 home games to their 1.
You're just playing them all at home.
Yeah, let's skew this toward the higher seed. Why? So we can have boring chalk? No. This is great. But this is also why the answer to this should be that you want to get your team in the playoffs every year.
Craig on the text line says, as a Catholic, making the playoffs and not doing much more is like being in purgatory. I'm a season ticket holder and wouldn't mind sucking for a couple of years and getting a couple studs on rookie contracts. So making the playoffs every year like being in purgatory, according to Craig.
All right. Well, a big week for us Catholics.
Indeed it is.
Now I'm thinking about purgatory.
April on the text line said, I want to make the playoffs every year. It's always an incredible experience at Bridgestone. Not fun as a fan if they're bad. Anything can happen in the playoffs. It's coming from April on the text line. By the way, James texting back in and says, didn't take a photo. The dude needs his privacy. So basically, James telling you to shut up, Joe. I'm leaving UC Saros alone.
Okay, so you draw the line at you'll come on the text line and tell us about his jammies, but you won't give us visual evidence. James, you can't be half pregnant, James.
He's not following Saros around the store snapping photos of him. This is not L.A.
Yeah. Like,
paparazzi out there.
Do we? That's a good point, though. When are we going to have paparazzi in Nashville?
I don't know.
We have so many famous people here. Shouldn't we have paparazzi?
I'm sure we do to some degree. I don't know.
Do you guys ever see that? Like, I'd like to see, like, Kid Rock stumbles out of some place, you know? Someone, yeah. Reese Witherspoon's shopping, you know?
We'll see what happens. Maybe that could be you. Lead the charge.
I mean, hey, you never know.
Coming up next,
doesn't sound that bad.
We'll be joined by Josh Ward from WNML in Knoxville. We'll get his thoughts on all things Tennessee Vols. This is Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
The 2022 Major League Soccer season is officially here, and the Nashville SC Stadium nearly complete. Don't miss Nashville SC's home opener May 1st. Grab a seat at nashvillesc.com/22ticks.
Hal Gill here for my good friends at Dunkin'. You know I love Dunkin', and I'm wicked happy that Dunks is all over Nashville. A newly remodeled next-gen Dunkin' location is at 1645 West Main Street in Lebanon. Of course, Dunks has the best coffee, but they have new spring items available as well. Try the salted caramel cream cold brew, shamrock macchiato made with Irish cream swirl, and the roasted tomato toast with hummus or avocado. They also have amazing chocolate croissants. So go treat yourself, go get your Dunks.
Hey, it's Mark Howard here. You've heard me talk about my friends at Apple Collision Centers for a while now, and today I'm here with CEO Stan Harrison to tell you about how they can help ease your stress with your auto body repair.
That's right, Mark. We have 3 convenient locations, Old Hickory, Hendersonville, and Gallatin, ready to serve you. Our people are homegrown right here in Middle Tennessee with over 75 years experience. We can help with all your auto body repair needs.
So stop by and see Stan and his team today and tell them Mark sent you, or visit them online at applecollisioncenters.com.
At Copper Branch, they live life to the fullest. Food is your energy and your life. Located in the heart of downtown Nashville, their goal is to serve you, your friends, and family quality, great-tasting, plant-based power foods. Visit Copper Branch at 601 Church Street for breakfast, lunch, and dinner with convenient and validated parking during library hours, and download their app for curbside pickup. Or come out for songwriter and live music nights several times throughout the week to empower, energize, and feel your best. Visit Copper Branch today.
Realizing Geico's great service and licensed agents are available at your fingertips is like realizing the plastic piece that comes with your pizza isn't a tiny doll table. It's to keep the box from touching the pizza.
Hey, the pizza's stuck to the box. Where's that little plastic thing?
Dolly needed it for her tea party.
It's something that's been right there in front of you all along, like the dedicated Geico claims team available to you in the event of an accident to get you back on the road quickly, or how your smartphone charges faster when you put it on airplane mode.
Wow, what if I put it on rocket mode?
It's something you can't believe you never realized before, like how Geico's industry-leading app lets you pay your bill, file a claim, manage your policy, or summon help when you need it. Or how those holes in your shower caddy are there so you can store your shampoo bottles upside down.
Showers happen fast when you're not waiting on shampoo.
Great service. It's just one of the many reasons to switch to Geico. They're all right there in front of you.
You're the one everyone looks to for answers. Come rain or shine, the job must get done, and you're the one who makes it happen. We get you, Jackie in Fresno, putting your employee safety first. And Manny in Chattanooga, whose local Granger team knows him by name. We're here for you and all the ones who get it done, with 24/7 customer support and access to product specialists to help you find what you need. Call, click Granger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Play ball! Mr. White hit high in the air, deep left field, on the track, at the wall, it's gone!
The Nashville Sounds are on the road as they take on the Gwinnett Stripers.
Swing and a strike 3, and the Sounds win!
Coverage begins at 5:50 on your home for the Sounds.
ESPN
94.9 and the Game Nashville app.
Hey Nashville, this is David Poyle. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game, brought to you by Little Guys Movers. Here's your chance to be your own boss. Join their team of 30-plus years of profits and good times. Visit littleguysfranchise.com. Robby Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Max Hers here with you on this Tuesday morning. And we go to our 102.5 The Game phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, and welcome in our friend Josh Ward from WNML in Knoxville. Josh, what's going on, brother? How we doing?
Hey, doing well. Good morning.
Appreciate you taking time to join us this morning, Josh. Lots to get to you today on the show. So, Josh, I want to start on the baseball front. Obviously, it's incredible what Tennessee is doing. 31-1 overall, 12-0 in the SEC. The first team to start 12-0 in the SEC. What do you think as you watch this team play? Are they the national championship favorite in your mind right now? And how much is the Mike Honcho T-shirt craze taking over the city of Knoxville right now?
Mm-hmm. Well, with the national championship, it seems the sports books would say yes, and it's been quite a rise over the last few weeks as Tennessee has done what it has in SEC play with 4 sweeps, and just the impressive road sweeps of Ole Miss and Vanderbilt, I think, caught so much attention. So the credibility is there when you look at the record and the wins and the quality of wins and the way that Tennessee has played. This past weekend was the first time it's really felt like in SEC play Tennessee was pushed, where they had middle-of-the-game deficits to make up. And even in that case, Friday and Saturday, Tennessee was able to not only come back and win, but in the end, win by a decisive margin. Sunday got close late, but Tennessee had actually built a nice lead to keep the Tigers from coming back to win. And then on top of that, you have the excitement. You have the Mike Honcho craze, as you bring up, in the middle of a Vanderbilt series that is going to be tense, and it's a big series for both sides. And now you have controversy, and Tony Vitello is able to turn that into something positive and fun and for fans to rally around. And I think Tennessee has a bit of a mindset of it's us versus everybody. There's the villain talk that Tennessee might be playing in college baseball, but there is no doubt fans are into what this team is doing right now.
Yeah, my gosh, Arkansas fans are triggered. Like, calm down, people. I'm just, as I follow enough people involved Twitter to sort of have a feel for – it feels like Arkansas, for whatever reason, is just totally offended by everything Tennessee does. But, Josh, last year, huge breakthrough year. Tony Vitello, it was turned around to some extent pretty quickly. But last year, obviously, the huge breakthrough year, people get excited. Do you sense that there's now a growing fan base, more of a fan base, now that you sort of have that expectation and that, this team is 31-1 and I think absolutely the best team in college baseball?
I do think it's grown. I think that there was a carryover effect from last year into this season earlier than I expected. I thought it would be, okay, you get through basketball season and then fans would check in and would say, okay, how is this team doing now? It started off better than expected. They had these massive wins against some lesser opponents where they're putting up 20 runs. But then I think that Tennessee fans actually did carry over what the team was able to do in the World Series last year and got excited about, okay, let's keep it going because basketball was doing well. So it was kind of, I don't know if it was the opposite of what I expected, but because basketball was doing well and baseball looked like it was good, there's just kind of an overall positive vibe around Tennessee, and fans jumped in more quickly than I expected with this baseball season. And now where we are, it's just really taken off. So it has gotten to the point that football obviously is going to be king, and the Nico news a few weeks ago was huge for Tennessee, but the shares are more evenly split than we typically see at this time of year, from spring practice to end of basketball season, off season, what's going to happen there. And baseball getting a lot more attention because they're so good. People are watching on Friday, Saturday nights, complaining if it's not on TV and they have to go find a stream, or if it gets bumped for an inning or two, because fans want to see this team play. And that's probably where the personality comes back in. Tennessee is really good, and that's the most important thing, because if this were a 7-5, 8-4 team in SEC play, the excitement would not be nearly as high. But the winning and the big home runs of Jordan Beck Grand Slam this past weekend, and the Mike Honcho, and the excitement around Ben Joyce, who doesn't play as big of a role as people might think to this point coming out of the bullpen for Tennessee, but he's throwing 103, 104 miles an hour. That got a lot of early season attention. and then these young arms that are doing well, and Blade Tidwell coming back. It's kind of layered. There are so many storylines to go with this team that, again, is really good. It could be historically good by the end of the season.
Josh Ward from WNML in Knoxville on with us here on Robby and Rexrode. And Josh, Brandon Huntley-Hatfield entering the transfer portal. How big of a loss is this for Tennessee, and where do Rick Barnes and company go from here in your mind?
Well, the reason I think it's a loss immediately is because I thought one thing that Tennessee needed to add to its offensive game from this past season was inside scoring, and I thought the best threat to do that from last season to next season would have been Brandon Huntley-Hatfield. Part of the issue there would be that maybe he doesn't think that's his game and that he should be more of a perimeter player with his size, and I don't think that's his best route to success, and I don't think that would have been best for Tennessee. So now that he's gone, I do think he's an important player to replace in trying to find some inside scoring, because Tennessee relying on its outside shot was great for a lot of the season after they really started to pick things up in late January into February. But we also saw how it could cost them at times if the outside shot was not falling. So Olivier Kamwa coming back will help. I think Jonas Adu can improve, and he can help. But just from a natural scoring ability, I thought Huntley-Hatfield offered the highest upside of their post presence. So I would be looking for a transfer that is more established, that can come in and score right away. This can work out fine for Tennessee. My fear is that this ends up being a loss for Tennessee and a mistake by Brandon Huntley-Hatfield to leave Tennessee. I think his best route would have been to return, continue to build his inside-out game, and that would have been best for Tennessee. So he is an important player based on the potential that Tennessee saw in him to have to replace.
No, I agree. It's a tough one. A lot of people are going to be after him, but I think it would have been a really good year for him next year in that program. Josh, I normally try to not pay much attention to spring football because I can't stand spring football, but I know it's important. You got to get the work in.
Yeah.
Just wondering if there's one thing that's jumped out at you from the Vols and their drills, and also what was the excitement level with Nico Iamaleava? I think I butchered that, didn't I?
You did, I think.
Help me. Josh is very good with pronunciations. Nico, give me one time, and then I'm going to get it right.
Iamaleava.
Iamaleava. Did you say that way yesterday, Robbie?
Yeah,
okay.
but don't feel bad. So for like a month and a half, we were talking about him as a prospect before he committed, and I had a pronunciation that I thought was 100% correct, and it was 100% wrong. And I had been saying it with such great conviction, and I had to retrain myself.
That's
so
right.
It's a work in progress for everybody. Fans are hoping that he will be that he'll just be Nico, that he'll be that good, so he becomes a one-name player, and you can stick with that. But that's gotten a ton of attention. He was in town this past weekend and visiting campus, and he played in a 7-on-7 tournament at Farragut High School just down the road from UT's campus. So that was the number one buzz, I'd say, with Tennessee football, that and the other highly touted prospects that were in town at wide receiver. But in spring, there's not a lot, and part of the issue is that you have key players on defense that have just been held out because of off-season injury and surgery, so they're not going, which is totally normal, happens with every team. But the defensive backfield would have been my biggest question personnel-wise to pay attention to, with guys like Kamal Haddon and Turnage coming back, and the Nico Slaughter, what role they could play, and we're just not going to get those answers until August into September. One thing that would stand out from a positive would be Jalen Hyatt, as you have to replace Bayless Jones, who was really good for them at wide receiver and did a number of different things, and Javonte Payton, who was a big play threat in the offense, and those guys are gone. Hyatt was a guy we talked about last year that could be that kind of player, and it just didn't work out. The thing that stands out would be his honesty, his willingness to say, I didn't work as hard after a good freshman season where he did some nice things. He didn't have a huge year, but because of what he did in spurts as a freshman, the thought was, okay, now he makes a leap as a sophomore. Didn't happen, but he's been in communication with Bayless Jones. He has committed to the weight room. He made a big play in a scrimmage. That's one of those where, Joe, you're right on spring. Who was he going up against? I don't think he was going up against SEC quality corners that he's going to see this fall. But it's more about his commitment and his understanding that, hey, I haven't done enough at this point. I need to work harder. And if that happens, he can still be a really good player for Tennessee. So that's a bright spot as they do look for playmaking help at wide receiver.
Josh Ward from WNML in Knoxville, our guest here on Robby and Rexrode. Josh, great stuff as always. Appreciate you taking time to join us this morning.
Hey, you got it. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks,
Absolutely. Josh Ward, our guest here on Robby and Rexrode. That is interesting. I mean, we talked about that the other day with Jalen Hyatt. I mean, if he if he commits himself to working, I mean, physically, I think the tools are there for him to be I don't know about a great player in the SEC, but a really, really good player for Tennessee in this offense, especially. That was kind of the one thing that shocked me last year, was as good as everybody was on the offensive side of the ball in Josh Heupel's first year, he was basically a non-factor the whole year.
Yeah, here and there he'd make a big play. But I thought he'd be their top receiver, but it also had something to do with Tillman and Peyton emerging and being consistent and getting on the same wavelength, especially getting on the same wavelength with Hendon Hooker. But I think huge opportunity. I mean, really, they need Jalen Hyatt to step in. They have some other good young guys. I mean, they've got talent there, but this is exactly the time for him. So I agree with Josh. That's probably the most significant thing I've seen out of UT spring practice is him sort of falling on the sword and taking responsibility for last season. There's no question he has the ability.
Nico Iamaleava.
Yeah, how'd you say it yesterday?
I don't even remember.
And
because now I've trained myself again.
Iamaleava. So the ma is actually emphasized. Nico Iamaleava. But I agree that Nico is going to be. I mean, he's going to be.
That's what people are going to say.
Madonna.
Yes.
Or
hey, it's Nico.
Who are the top who are like? Don't make me sound like a boomer. The top one-name celebrities in the world right now.
Go LeBron.
That's true. LeBron is.
Yeah. Nobody calls him LeBron James. LeBron.
Yeah. There's got. What about in the entertainment industry? Who's like the top one-name celebrity in the entertainment industry now? Come on, I'm looking at you, Max Hers. Come on, young guy.
People.
Max doesn't know. Max just knows. Max is sports guy.
Bono.
I've never
I
never
love Bono.
even listened to music, Joe.
You don't?
I don't have time. Too many games to watch.
Bono's a good one.
Yeah.
That's again.
Not anywhere.
Now makes you sound like a boomer, but yeah. Nico will be, yes. And I don't care what the quarterback situation is next year. Maybe he starts right away, but if he doesn't, the Nico calls are going to be just emanating from those stands.
Coming up next, Joe Rexrode's favorite coach in college football making some headlines again about NIL. Very interesting comments coming out of a certain school in South Carolina. We'll get to that coming up on the other side. Go Yard all summer long with $5 Dinger Tuesdays on FanDuel Sportsbook. This season, all customers will get $5 for every home run hit by both teams when you place a $25 to hit a home run wager on a Tuesday MLB game. So Major League Baseball is underway, and the best part about Dinger Tuesdays is even if your bet loses, FanDuel will pay you $5 for every single home run. So that's something that you're going to want to take advantage of. I like the Dodgers a lot this year. I think Freddie Freeman is going to get off to a good start here with L.A. this season, but you can take it any way you want to take it. The Reds back at home today, much to Ryan Port's love as well. Maybe Joey Votto goes deep against the Cleveland Guardians today. Regardless of what you do, make sure you do it on FanDuel Sportsbook. There's no better place to bet America's pastime than on America's #1 sportsbook. Head over to FanDuel account or download the FanDuel Sportsbook app and sign up using promo code ROB. Once again, that promo code is Rob. You must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 7 days. A max bonus of $25. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Got a gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789.
From the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center.
I'm Fox 17 News Code Red meteorologist Dan Guthrie. Scattered showers and thunderstorms will stick with us for a couple hours this morning, followed by dry times and warmer times this afternoon. High temperature up to 78 degrees.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Spring into savings at Electronic Express. Get up to 40% off the latest 4K TVs from Samsung, LG, Sony, Hisense, TCL, and more. That's not all. Get huge savings in every department like computers and gaming, smart home, housewares, mattresses, and more. Plus, save up to 40% on all appliances with up to 36 months free financing. Shop in-store or online with free express delivery on most items. Shop locally owned and family operated at Electronic Express. We make it happen.
Genesis Diamond's spectacular spring extravaganza is coming. April 22nd through 24th. 3 incredible days of store-wide savings. Up to 35% off engagement rings, earrings, bracelets, wedding bands, plus special financing. Even Genesis GIA certified diamonds are marked down. Plus, top jewelry designers are flying in with all new amazing designs. If you're popping the question soon or just looking for some new sparkle, you can't miss this annual event. Save up to $10,000 on some items. It's April 22nd through 24th and only at Genesis Diamonds, Green Hills and Cool Springs. See store for details.
Do you have a VA loan? In this housing market, homeowners with VA loans have access to a ton of instant cash. Willie Donick here. If you need cash for that home improvement or want to finally be credit card debt-free, how does a check for 80 or 90 grand sound right now? Loan Pronto is helping veterans every day get the money they need with a quick and easy, zero-cost cash-out refi with zero closing costs. With a VA loan, it's really cool because you can access up to 100% of your home's value. Use that money to pay off all your high-interest debt or remodel your kitchen, or both. Loan Pronto's all-digital process makes it fast and easy. They're doing loans with super low APRs, and they love working with veterans. In fact, Loan Pronto does zero down purchases for veterans buying a new home. Call now to see what your options are. Call Loan Pronto at 615-499-5780. That's 615-499-5780. Or go to loanpronto.com. 615-499-5780. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166-1781, subject to lender approval.
So, what is Jared Stillman going to say this afternoon?
You got to play if you want to earn $14.6 million next year.
Oh, brother, here we go.
But I'm done on investing money in dudes that can't get on the field.
Tune in to Stillman and Company, weekday afternoons from 2 to 6.
This is some serious stuff right here.
Delivered by TriStar Moving on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Watch live on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube.
You're listening to Robby and Rexrode on ESPN 1025 The Game.
Tune in later this morning at 8:45 for your chance to participate in Preds Pick to Click and win a pair of tickets to a future Preds home game brought to you by New Amsterdam Vodka. We'll have that chance for you coming up later in the show at 8:45. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 1025 The Game. Robby Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Max Hers here with you on this Tuesday morning in Nashville, Tennessee. Joe Rexrode, your favorite coach in college football, making some headlines once again when it comes to NIL and the transfer portal. We've talked about this before. Dabo Sweeney a few years ago, saying a few years ago that if players get paid, then I'm done. I can't be coaching college football anymore. That's my best Dabo voice. That's what I can do.
Very good. And by the way, he's a one-name celebrity.
Dabo. Put him on the list. He had some interesting comments with ESPN, an interview on ESPN.com the other day. They got to a whole bunch of stuff in this interview, but towards the bottom of it, the Q&A, they got into like the transfer portal NIL discussion, and he had a couple of really interesting things today. I'll read the first one on the transfer portal. Quote, "My transfer portal is right there in that locker room because if I'm constantly going out every year and adding guys from the transfer portal, I'm telling all those guys in that locker room that I don't believe in them, that I don't think they can play. We're also not doing our job as coaches and recruiters if we're bringing in a bunch of transfers. We're not going to build our roster on transfers." The very next question, in what scenario would you use the transfer portal? Again, if we're having to use it to help build our roster, that means we missed on some kids, and goes through this big thing again and then says, we'll have to use it, but only to fill a gap. So he will be using it. He's just kind of setting himself up there of, if we're using the transfer portal all that much, we're not doing our jobs. The NIL stuff is interesting because he's talked about money and all that stuff before in college football. And says, quote, "There's no rules, no guidance, no nothing. It's out of control. It's not sustainable. It's an absolute mess and a train wreck. And the kids are going to end up being the ones who suffer in the end." And then goes through all this big thing about how it's not what it's supposed to be and the intention is there. And he likes that players can get paid, but it's definitely not what it was supposed to be. And then goes down to they're asking him about, like, coaches making all this money. And, like, just the salaries that go along with it. And some of the answers that Dabo has in this is just amazing. Well, Nick Saban's 70 years old. I'm 52 years old. The head of Delta probably makes a lot more than the people who are checking your baggage in, but those people are as vital as anybody. None of us set markets on what we do. It's a free market we live in anything. It's just that our jobs are so visible and public. I can tell you this, none of us got into coaching to make money, but I don't apologize for being successful. The quote from Dabo Swinney there. Joe, your reaction to Dabo Swinney and this very expansive interview on ESPN.com.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's typical Dabo. Going off about the professionalization of athletics, and then saying, "Oh, it's a free market. Come on, we can make our money with a free market." Look, I actually, to be totally honest, I agree with some of what he said.
Sure,
I agree with some of what Tom Izzo said on the show last week here about the portal and about. I mean, I think education is in some cases it's going to be tougher if you keep bouncing around. That's just you're bouncing around, you're changing schools all the time, things like that. I think there's a lot of value in like having relationships that then, I mean, how many, forget the pro athletes that come from programs, Vanderbilt baseball, whatever. Take any good program. There's a network of people that help you get jobs and things like that. Like, there's a lot to be said for consistency, staying in a place, and all that stuff. But the money thing is just, like the problem that we have is like Dabo and people like this. They are trying to pretend like there hasn't been money. You know, I mean, like if we were just going from everyone going from scholarships to now all of a sudden, oh my gosh, all of a sudden players are getting money. Okay, well, that'd be one thing. This is still a big change. It's significant. There's more money, but there's been money flowing through college athletics, okay? And it's just disingenuous to say, well, I mean, we live in a free market, and then talk about how guys should not be getting paid. Now, he has toned it down from like the previous quote when he said, like, seriously, like, I'm getting out of college.
I'm not going to be coaching.
I mean, then you shouldn't be coaching still. I mean, he does say here the intention is very good. I love the fact these guys can go make some money in their name, but the way it's set up right now is definitely not how it was intended. Yeah. I mean, fine, but everyone knew that it was going to come to this. Of course, it's going to be immediately used to try to bring kids in. And by the way, Alabama just announced their huge new. They're trying to catch up with the Vols.
Yep.
With the Spire, they got, what is it? It's like high tide something. Yeah. High tide traditions or something. Yeah. All right. Well, everybody's got a collective now. If there's a market for these skills and for the work that someone does, then there's a market. It's an open market, just like you said, Dabo. So that should also apply to young people.
Like, I largely like Dabo, but sometimes when he talks, I'm like, oh boy, what's going on here? And he didn't say anything like too crazy here. It's just kind of amazing. Like, he goes through all these things about the NIL and the money part of this and how there are unintended consequences. And then the interview immediately turns around to, well, what about you guys? Like, you and Nick Saban make a lot of money. He's like, oh, well, yeah, we do. And this is a capitalist society here. I was like, well, yeah, it is, Dabo. That's the point of this NIL stuff.
Yeah. And then what is your definition of, and this is Chris Lowe asking all these questions.
Yep.
What's your definition of the professionalization of college athletics? The answer is getting away from scholarships and getting away from academics. Now, again, look, he says this later. There's nothing worse than seeing a 27-year-old, 28-year-old, 30-year-old who the band played for, the fans cheered for, and they never got that degree and they're struggling. And so I agree with that. But the idea that allowing them to make money while they're in school ruins their education, I think, is quite a leap. Moving around, I mean, that can be problematic. Transferring stuff, all that. I mean, I understand all that. There are unintended consequences. It's never going to be perfect. I mean, it's, to me, so much better. And frankly, it's easier for me to watch college football now that we have these things in place. That's just me.
Well, and I also wonder, like, if you're a school like Clemson in the ACC right now, and you're seeing all these, recruits come in, and it's been like this for a while. I mean, the SEC has been recruiting better than anyone else for a long time, and that's the way it's going to be for the foreseeable future. But you're seeing Tennessee with this collective, Alabama now with this collective as well. Everybody's gonna get there eventually, but some schools have deeper pockets than others. Some collectives have deeper pockets than others. And Clemson, I mean, they just had another 10-win season, which is kind of amazing. Like, we don't even think about that. I think it was their 11th 10-win season in a row? Like, he's in rarefied air in terms of the amount of times that he's had, double-digit winning seasons in a row. And I can see a scenario where, like, if the SEC is going to continue to go this way and there's just so much money being thrown around, and eventually you've got Oklahoma and Texas coming in too, like, could Clemson kind of fall behind the 8 ball a little bit in terms of recruiting?
Yeah, I mean, I think for certainly they're going to be. You look at the projected, earnings from media rights deals and everything. I mean, it's going to be the Big Two. I mean, that's really where it's headed. It's the SEC and the Big Ten, and they're going to be well beyond these other leagues. Now, another part about that is, okay, well, Clemson already has the most ridiculous facility you could ever buy. I mean, I do think one of the name, image, likeness unintended consequences that's a good thing, I think, that will happen, is that we're going to be a little bit more reasonable with, oh, my God, guys, we got to raise another $150 million because, this building that we just built for $100 million 10 years ago, it's just not keeping up with LSU.
No more chocolate fountains?
Yeah, I mean, maybe just like not the super, super expensive Swiss chocolate, just like some,
Lazy Rivers.
But so I think, I think you still could have Clemson boosters who fund a really nice collective for you. You still have great facilities. You still have a winning tradition. You can go in the playoff because, frankly, it's easier to get there through the ACC. So I don't know that they fall off, but in terms of overall athletic departments too, it's not just like, I think in football Clemson can be fine, but these SEC and Big Ten schools are going to have so much more money to invest in all of their programs. Some people don't care about that. I think you're going to see that pay off in a lot of different sports. But I don't know. Like a Clemson on an island still, I think, can be a force. We'll see.
Stop by Social Furniture at 5412 Charlotte Avenue in Nashville and enter for a chance to win a pair of tickets to see the Preds take on the Chicago Blackhawks coming up at Bridgestone Arena on Saturday. Also, don't forget to check out their new sofas. While you're in there, you must be 18 or older to enter the contest. No purchase is necessary. Coming up next, Ryan Tannehill was spotted throwing some passes to a certain Titans wide receiver. What do we think of that? And could this wide receiver be in for a big year coming up in year 2? We'll get to that next. This is Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
Willie Donick here for Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville. Proud to announce that they have won the Top Gun Award for the best Pella sales organization in the U.S. They have the best culture, best customer satisfaction, and best growth in the business. To celebrate, Pella is offering their amazingly affordable products at 0% financing with no payments for 12 months. Do you need new doors or windows? I suggest you shop with Nashville's Pella experts at Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville. Go to PellaofNashville.com.
Smokeville Smoke Shop has been serving Hendersonville and Metro Nashville since 2015 and is committed to providing high-quality, hands-on, and personable customer service. Stop into Smokeville Smoke Shops in Hendersonville, Gallatin, Hermitage, and Goodlettsville to try any of their wide selection of locally sourced products and selection of top nationwide brands, including vapes, hookah, hand-blown glass, detox systems, e-juices, kratom products, leaf wraps, and much more. Visit Smokeville Smoke Shops today.
Victory Award-winning New Amsterdam Vodka knows all about it, but in life, it's not always so clear. So New Amsterdam Vodka believes that in life, you've got to find your own wins. You've got to overcome your fears, go all in, even when you've got nothing at all. Find your wins. And when you do, raise that glass of New Amsterdam Vodka in victory. You've earned it. New Amsterdam Spirits Company, Modesto, California.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone, America's #1 brakes destination. We have the pads, rotors, drums, shoes, and brake fluids to improve your stopping power. Right now, save 15% when you get any 2 Duralast rotors with the set of Duralast brake pads. Missing a tool? Ask about our free Loan-A-Tool program and borrow the tools you need to get the job done.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Claim based on data from the MPD Group 2021. Deposit required for Loan-A-Tool.
Cutting the price of your wireless bill feels good, really good. Actually, it feels great. You should try it out. So cut your bill by switching to Straight Talk Wireless, now offering our $45 Silver Unlimited plan with 5 gigabytes of hotspot and nationwide 5G on America's largest, most dependable networks. The $45 Silver Unlimited plan from Straight Talk. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
A month equals 30 days. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com. 5G capable device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary.
The minute you step behind the wheel of an all-new Toyota Tundra TRD Pro, you'll know it was made to make a statement, because it's a beast. Equipped with a 437-horsepower iForce Max hybrid engine made for making power moves. Plus, available cockpit red interior with a technical camo pattern made to deliver a red carpet-like experience. Not to mention an in-grille LED light bar made to make you stand out from the crowd. The all-new Tundra TRD Pro, made to make a statement. Toyota, let's go places.
From the Hillside Medical Game Studios, WPRT-FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne, with Darren, Donick, and Chase middays from 10 to 2. Talk amongst themselves.
It's not a star-studded group. They're not all there.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
A Cromwell media station.
It's Robby and Rexrode with Robby Stanley and Joe Rexrode on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Welcome back in. Hour number 2 of Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game. Robby Stanley alongside Joe Rexrode, Max Herzer with you on this Tuesday morning in Nashville, Tennessee. Robby and Rexrode brought to you by Little Guys Movers. Here's your chance to be your own boss. Join their team of 30-plus years of profits and good times. Visit littleguysfranchise.com. Joe Rexrode, Des Fitzpatrick was spotted working out with Ryan Tannehill down in Florida, and they were captured together on film. There's an Instagram video of this captured by Austin Lazuski out there of Ryan Tannehill and Des Fitzpatrick running some routes, throwing some passes, and nice, pretty slow-motion video of a nice, tight Ryan Tannehill spiral in the air, right over the shoulder for Des Fitzpatrick running into the end zone. So good to see that Tannehill's still throwing the football and actually completed the pass there. It was nice. Nice to watch that.
Yeah.
I know some Titans fans maybe think that he's forgotten how to do that.
I don't know that. Has he done that here ever? I can't
know.
recall a completion.
But Des Fitzpatrick out there putting in some work with quarterback one. Obviously, Des Fitzpatrick selected in the 4th round last year. He did not make the team out of training camp, was placed on the practice squad, and then later was called up. And we know what happened in the Houston game. Maybe ran some wrong routes in the Houston game. Was not much of a factor last year in his rookie season. And honestly, just from my perspective, I'll speak for myself, I've kind of just forgot about him and maybe discarded him a little too quickly at this point because, you know, I'm looking at this receiver room right now, and to me it's A.J. Brown, it's Robert Woods, it's Nick Westbrook-Akina, and then much past that I really don't know and don't really care much right now, to be honest with you. Am I discarding Des Fitzpatrick too quickly? Should Titans fans expect much more from him in year 2 in your mind? What do you think of the Des Fitzpatrick situation as they head into this season?
Before I answer that question, you know, sometimes on Twitter, you know, like our feed is up.
Yeah.
And so, you know how it's a few seconds behind? You know, like the feed on Twitter is a few seconds behind as we talk.
Sure.
Like the facial expressions I make on here, how do people watch this stuff? I mean, I'm looking at it right now. Like, it's just awful.
Sex appeal, man.
My face is just awful.
No.
All right. Anyway.
You look great.
Yeah. So, you know, I think Des Fitzpatrick and Racing McMath, I think both those guys are going to have opportunity to be on this team. Now, I think ideally that's receiver 5 and receiver 6. Well, look, I don't see a scenario. And if there is a scenario, good for him and good for the Titans. But I don't see a scenario where Des Fitzpatrick moves ahead of Nick Westbrook-Akina on the pecking order. I'd be very surprised by that. If that's the case, then how do you get too excited about him? You can't. I mean, I think that Des Fitzpatrick improved enough last year to get on the field, and he's caught a TD pass. He made a few plays, which is definitely a leap from at the end of camp. It was like, what have they done? Is this guy ever going to play a snap in the NFL? So obviously he responded well to what happened when he got cut. But yeah, I would look at him as a hopeful wide receiver 5. And the reason I'm saying 5 is because I think wide receiver 3 needs to be picked in the draft, high in the draft. I believe that. I know some people would rather see them go like pure offensive line or, tight end, maybe defense. I think receiver has to be prominent in this draft to get the third guy, a really good player on a rookie deal who can help this year and make it so that Nick Westbrook-Ikhine is your 4. And then after that, sure, I don't know. We'll see. Racing McMath could be a prospect too. We know what A.J. Brown said about him.
Yeah, yes, we do. Maybe, he kind of accurate last year. Kind of reminded me of Julio Jones.
That's true. He's like 2021 Julio Jones. Right?
Well, I bring
Actually,
this.
the Titans would take that.
Yeah, they probably would. I bring this up because, obviously the Titans saw something in this guy. They drafted him in the 4th round. I think he's 109th overall. And we know how it played out last year. He wasn't ready in training camp, and he got in towards the end of the season. Now, John Robinson did say that he liked some of the strides that Des Fitzpatrick took throughout the season, that he made some progress on the practice squad. But they saw something in this guy to draft him in the 4th round. Like, I recognize it's not like they drafted him in the 1st round or in the 2nd round or anything like that. It's not necessarily a high draft pick. But, you'd like to get something out of your 4th round draft pick, 109th overall. I'm interested to see what he can bring to the table. There's a lot that you like about him. He's 6'2". He's like 215 pounds. I think he ran a 4.47 at the combine. That's not a burner or anything, but physically, there's a lot that I think that he brings to the table. It's just a matter of whether or not he can put it together. Good to see him working out with Ryan Tannehill, though. Guess that's one way to build that connection.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like Tannehill and Ferguson built chemistry a few years ago, because I expect Tannehill to be the QB2 this year. So they'll be working together on the scout team probably. So no, but in all seriousness, it is good to get in that work, and who knows? Like, players certainly can make leaps in this league. It really does happen, I think, more than people realize. So I agree. He produced a ton in college. Obviously, the reason part of that production is that he wasn't quite good enough to come out early. Talking to Des Fitzpatrick seems like a really solid guy. Has been putting in the work. So it's not a completely lost cause. I just at this point would say making the team and being a viable option, depth option, is probably the best case scenario. Anything beyond that is a pleasant surprise.
Well, at this point, if you're the Titans, I don't think you can – I think it would be a mistake if you're John Robinson to just operate under the assumption that he's going to be a guy for you this year, like that he's going to be a significant contributor. Now, if he shows up at training camp and he has a great preseason and you feel good about him maybe being in the rotation this year, then great. To me, that's a bonus at this point, but – I am drafting, if I'm John Robinson, with the idea that, we need at least one more receiver, maybe 2, but one more receiver in this draft, preferably high in the draft. I'm not running in here saying, well, we got A.J. Brown and Robert Woods, and we drafted Des Fitzpatrick last year, so we're probably all set there. That's not the way I'm doing this if I'm John Robinson.
Just make sure when you talk about receivers, you mention NWI. But yes, I agree with you.
It's true.
So I think I've seen a lot of mock drafts for the Titans with people having them take 2 receivers. I think the second receiver probably is a commentary on Fitzpatrick and or McMath, because you could do a lot of other things.
Yep.
If you take a receiver first or second in the 3rd round, that should be a guy who helps this year. Certainly a 1st round, but even I think the depth of the position in the draft dictates that a 3rd round receiver should help you this year.
Yeah.
You certainly hope so. If you take one in like the 5th or 6th, to me, that's saying, these young guys they're just not quite what we're looking for. Got to get a different young guy into the pipeline and compete with them and possibly take that spot. Because, I think you could if I were the Titans, I would rather just pick one receiver in this draft, count on those young guys to keep coming, and then you're fine. And your receiver room looks pretty good.
Yeah. If you had to identify today who you're more confident in heading into this season, Des Fitzpatrick, Racing McMath, what would your answer to that question be? To play more of a significant role?
Well, I'd say Racing McMath because he would play a significant special teams role. Now, if you're asking me offensive role.
Let's go offensive.
Okay. Well, I guess I'd go Fitzpatrick. I mean, he ultimately did more for the offense last year than McMath did. And remember, McMath was kind of one of those training camp stars, and it was a different situation. Fitzpatrick was really, I mean, they were down on Fitzpatrick. There is no question. And they were very down on Fitzpatrick during camp. And, again, I think it's encouraging that he responded the way he did. I just don't know where the ceiling is. I don't know that it's that high.
Yeah, so that's going to be interesting to see what they do with that, because if they're down on him still and he shows up, that's the thing. Like, you got to make this decision now in the draft. So if you draft 2 wide receivers, what does that mean for his future at this point? That's going to be interesting to find out. I would imagine if they're drafting 2 wide receivers, let's say they go first round with the first one. You're not drafting the second wide receiver until what? 5th round? 6th round?
I wouldn't think so. But you just
a lot of energy at wide receiver.
Yeah, I mean, you just never know. They could, and
maybe they feel even stronger about Nick Westbrook-Akina this year than they did last year when you wrote that piece.
Maybe it's time to write the Nick Westbrook-Akina WR1 piece.
Maybe it is.
Even though there was never a piece that said wide receiver 2. I know a lot of people claim they read that. I have a link to provide if anyone needs it.
This week's Nashville's Best Deal is 312 Pizza Company. 312 Pizza Company serves the best pizza in town, as well as Chicago-style eats like Chicago dogs, Italian beef sandwiches, and more. Head to theGameNashville.com/deals to get half off a $30 gift card to 312 Pizza Company while supplies last. We'll continue the conversation on the Titans, taking your thoughts on our text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025. I also saw another quarterback get added to the list of possibilities for the Titans. We'll get into that next as well. This is Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 1025 The Game.
Every Wednesday, it's me, Jared Stillman, against Joe Rexrode for Jared versus Joe. Brought to you by Parman Tractor and Equipment. Visit ParmanTractor.com, your Middle Tennessee link belt and Takeuchi dealer.
Whether you're buying your first home or your forever home, you want a mortgage lender who can help you plan with certainty. For home loans that work for you, Rocket can.
Parman Tractor and Equipment is your one-stop tractor and equipment solution and Middle Tennessee's link belt and Takeuchi dealer. Rent or purchase a track loader, mini excavator, large excavators for your job site, or something in between. Parman is now hiring and seeking qualified candidates for construction equipment truck drivers, service technicians, and more. Apply at ParmanTractor.com or call 615-865-7800. Come be an employee owner with the Parman team, your Middle Tennessee link belt and Takeuchi dealer.
Now through April 14th, join a clean and spacious Planet Fitness for $1 down and only $10 a month. With tons of equipment and free fitness training, it's the perfect place for everybody to work out.
Even me, Mr. I can't sleep at night, so I keep dozing off during the day.
Especially you, Snoozy. You'll rest easier and feel fit-tacular.
Wait, how did you get in here?
Join in club or at planetfitness.com. $1 down, $10 a month, cancel anytime. Hurry, deal ends April 14th. See club for details.
Hey, it's Chase McCabe here to tell you about Dr. Kelly Rice Family Cosmetic and Dental Sleep Medicine. Dr. Rice, listen, we all have cavities, but what's the best way to try and keep them from happening?
Cavities are like any other health condition. You don't really know you have one until it gets bad. Recently, I saw a patient for treatment that they had been putting off. Something that could have been simple to fix 6 months ago turned out to need a root canal and a crown. Postponing treatment costs more and takes time away from work.
Nobody wants a root canal, so you're right. Regular checkups are very important.
Well, we do things differently. I want to let people know that if they're afraid of pain or worried about the cost, they are not alone. Don't be embarrassed. We understand. Give us a call at 615-373-4488. That's KellyERice.com.
Dr. Kelly Rice Family Cosmetic and Dental Sleep Medicine. If you don't have dental insurance, no problem. Be sure to join their membership club. Just visit KellyERice.com or call 615-373-4488 now to schedule your cleaning and checkup. You'll certainly be glad you did.
Music City. Start a profitable new chapter of your life and be your own boss with your very own Little Guys Movers franchise. In fact, no matter where you are, from Green Hills to the Gulch to down in Franklin, if you can hear my voice, there's an affordable, profitable Little Guys franchise opportunity nearby. Use your existing 401k to invest in yourself. Financing options are available. Join a team with 30 plus years of growth and good times. Learn more at littleguysfranchise.com. That's littleguysfranchise.com. And then make that call.
You're gearing up to get back out on the field, so you ordered ball game essentials like a new glove, cleats, and a jumbo pack of sunflower seeds. And you used your Bank of America customized Cash Rewards credit card, choosing to earn 3% cash back on online shopping, which could increase to 5.25% as a preferred rewards member. Rewards that you put toward the cost of an essential piece of your post-game recovery. A heating pad. Apply for yours at bankofamerica.com/more rewarding. Copyright 2021 Bank of America Corporation.
This is a metaphor for your business's journey. Sometimes it feels like the world is throwing everything it has at you. And to succeed, you need someone to guide you through. That's what Dell Technologies advisors do. They have the Windows PCs and tech advice to help you navigate whatever challenges you're up against and get you safely to where you want to be. Call an advisor today at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL. A start to a simpler experience with Windows 11 Pro.
If you've missed any of today's show, just search Robby and Rexrode on Apple, Spotify, or your favorite podcast platform.
Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game. Streaming live on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. Our video streaming brought to you by the law offices of Amanda Gentry. We are live from the Hillside Medical Game Studio with you on this rainy Tuesday morning. Lots of rain going on out there. Be careful if you're traveling around here today. So I was looking around last night. It is mock draft season still in the thick of mock draft season. But this wasn't really a mock draft on NFL.com. Chad Reuter, who writes for NFL.com, coming out with what he deems the ideal top 2 selections for each team in the NFL. So he's taking the picks that each team has and just kind of calculating what the ideal top 2 selections would be. And with the first-round pick at number 26 overall in this piece, Chad Reuter believes that Sam Howell, quarterback out of North Carolina, would be the ideal pick for the Titans. Says Howell's ability to make plays from and outside the pocket might push the Titans, who have Ryan Tannehill entrenched as their starter, to follow the example set by teams that have drafted a first-round quarterback despite the presence of a veteran. See the Chiefs with Mahomes, Packers with Jordan Love and Rodgers, Niners with Trey Lance and Garoppolo. So Sam Howell now added to the list of potential quarterbacks the Titans could select in the first round.
I keep forgetting about Sam Howell.
Most people have.
It's a weird – I mean, he was supposed to be maybe number 1 pick. I watched him a few times last year. Man, was I not impressed.
He's all right.
I mean, he's got talent, but, I mean, the decision-making when I was watching him was troublesome. He did not seem like an especially smart quarterback out there. It's so weird with the quarterbacks. Because now that he mentions it, I have seen some people who think, yeah, he's a first-round talent. And I swear some people think he's a 5th-round talent. I mean, I don't know.
I've seen very few mock drafts lately where he's going in the first round.
Well, the most common thing with mock drafts, I think, is now having, Pickett and maybe Willis? Pickett and Willis, and that's about it, right?
That's about it. Yep.
Yeah, that would be that'd be a bit of a surprise. That'd be a bit of a surprise. I still feel like, again, maybe the Titans do. Any of these guys, they could absolutely be in love with the one guy just for whatever reason, and have gone through everything and are like, yeah, this is it. This he fits perfectly. He's going to be perfect in the building. All that stuff. I still think Desmond Ridder is the most likely quarterback to fit that bill. Although Malik Willis, I think could. It's just I don't know. I have my serious doubts that Malik Willis is going to be sitting there. I think he's going to go a lot earlier.
I still think he's going ahead of Pickett. I could be wrong.
That could be.
I think he's going ahead of Pickett, though. Maybe the baby hands at the end of the day is just too much for these teams to overcome, and Willis will be the first quarterback taken off the board. I don't know. It does feel like Pickett's getting some momentum right now, though. Those hands just continually growing, and teams are feeling more comfortable about it, I guess.
He's getting teams in his grip, that Malik Willis.
Yes, he is.
Is it possible that Dan Campbell could be enticed.
Well, could be.
Did you see Dan Campbell's quotes, by the way, real fast?
No.
From the other day?
I would have loved to have seen him.
He was talking about some player in Miami who was like hungover every day, but like he loved ball though. He got after it. I didn't care. I'll find it.
I cannot wait for Hard Knocks. I've never been more excited about a Hard Knocks in my entire life than Dan Campbell and the Lions coming up this fall.
It's unbelievable to say like the Lions are going to revive something, but like I have been down on Hard Knocks lately, and I actually have some hope. He's not going to be Rex Ryan, which is probably the best Hard Knocks.
Yeah.
But he's got a chance to inject some life into that thing.
Well, they've been like they've censored too much of it. So like the teams have say on this stuff, and there's too much that's just not in there.
Well, they don't. Yeah, they're not nearly as inside the building as they used to be.
Well, I feel like with the Lions that could change.
Hopefully,
Dan Campbell's opening those doors. Just come on in.
Yeah,
you film whatever you want to film.
You inject that camera in his veins along with the Starbucks.
Can't wait for that. Now, Sam Howell, like I heard. It was McShay and Mel Kiper talking about this the other day with Fitz on the radio. He kind of seems like a guy that if you could find him maybe in the second round, that he could be a guy that sits down for a while, then eventually could be a pretty good starter. Like McShay was talking about how the film, like he might have the best arm in the draft, best deep ball thrower in the draft, like all these different things, and obviously physically. He probably ran the ball a little bit too much last year at North Carolina. Like it seems like when they got in trouble, it was just a quarterback draw. They're like, okay, what's 3rd and 5? Let's just run a quarterback draw every time. So that's obviously not going to work in the NFL if you keep doing that over and over again. But, I mean, physically, he seems to have some tools. To your point, in between the years, it's got to get a little bit better with the decision making.
Yeah, the athleticism is good, and I think that's increasingly an important thing. You know, I mean, Pickett is one of those guys, and that's the big knock on him is like when the pocket collapses on him, usually he doesn't make a play out of that. A lot of these other guys are. I mean, I think most of these QBs who are coming in this draft at least have some level of athleticism that I think is increasingly important, but it still comes down to its accuracy and it's recognizing things quickly and making good decisions. It's always going to be more important than anything else. As far as the second round thing you mentioned, it's like Carson Strong. I've seen some people have the Titans take Carson Strong. Carson Strong seems to be like this popular. He's about a second or third rounder,
Yep.
Good, accurate, good quarterback, but he had the serious knee stuff, and you're just not sure about him physically. To me, it's if that's the way you're going to go, get another player to help your current quarterback who's, I mean, as much as we have been just bashing Ryan Tannehill, I feel way more confident in him being better than all these guys we're listing next year. Yeah. Certainly next year. So this makes me think of Computer Cowboys tweet from yesterday. Ben Baldwin, friend of the show. We had Ben on, right?
We did.
Yeah. So Ben Baldwin had a really interesting tweet about if you have a second-round grade on a quarterback, what you were saying is there's almost no chance of him amounting to anything in the NFL. So he went through 20 years of second-round picks, 02 through 21. So let's go through the list. We'll go oldest to newest. Tarvaris Jackson, Kellen Clemens, Drew Stanton, shout out Drew, covered him in college, John Beck, Kevin Kolb, Chad Henne, Brian Brom, Pat White, Jimmy Clausen, Colin Kaepernick, Andy Dalton, Brock Osweiler, Geno Smith, Jimmy G, Derek Carr. So there's, Jimmy G, Derek Carr. Yeah. It's not completely lost cause. I mean, Kaepernick was good for, a couple seasons. Dalton was pretty good. Who else? Oh, yeah, Deshaun Kaiser, Drew Lock, Christian Hackenberg, my goodness. Jalen Hurts, Kyle Trask. Jalen Hurts could end up being good. So it's not complete zero.
Just wait how good Kyle Trask is. When Brady's done in Tampa, just wait. Just soaking up all that knowledge.
Oh, man, exactly. I'm sure just being in Brady's presence alone, he'll have a glow for the rest of his life. So most of these, it's a good point by him. Like, for the most part, it's not going to go well. Now, granted, if we did first round,
I was about to say, do that list with first rounders. There'd be a higher hit rate, but
a higher hit rate, but a lot of right. I mean, that's just how it goes with quarterbacks in general. Most of them are not going to work out. But to me, if you're like, oh yeah, we can get that guy in the second round or third round, just don't go quarterback.
Well, what's amazing to me about this process is, and maybe I'm just prisoner of the moment, but it feels like the quarterbacks are more all over the map here than any other draft I can remember. Like, we've talked about Matt Corral. In this same piece,
there's a good one. Yeah.
In this same piece where the ideal pick for the Titans apparently is Sam Howell at 26th, he's got the ideal pick for the Seahawks at number 9 overall is Matt Corral at quarterback. I've not seen Matt Corral anywhere near that type of stuff, but it's just amazing like how differently people view quarterbacks in this draft. The ideal pick for the Seahawks is Matt Corral at number 9. I don't know if I buy that one.
I'm thinking this is not the ideal mock draft. But I do like the format here. Your top 2 picks for each team. I mean, it's a little bit different at least. But yeah, Corral's another one. Corral's another one where it's just like some people are just gaga over him, and some people are like, yeah, middle round, whatever.
Yeah.
Ruder here, he has the Colts taking Carson Strong, speaking of him, at number 73 overall in the 2nd round. So
going from one Carson to another.
That's right, yes.
Jeremy Gover on Twitter says, real question, why do experts rank athleticism higher than decision-making? Decision-making is paramount. If a quarterback has a great deep ball but throws it to the wrong team every time or rushes that throw every time, what does that athleticism amount to? Losses. This is coming from Gover on Twitter.
Well, I don't know how many actually rank it higher than decision-making, but I do think sometimes if a player is so overwhelming as an athlete, then you get wowed by that, and you're like, okay, but you can teach some of the other stuff, right?
Just wait till Joe Milton has his pro day. It's gonna be amazing.
Well, look, go back to Jamarcus Russell, who again, he played well in the best league in college, so it's not like there was nothing to go on, but like people went nuts because he threw it 100 yards from his knees, because that's so relevant to what you do in the NFL.
Yeah.
I still swear. See, we're going to have Charles on later. I swear to you that Charles told me, man, he threw it from his – I'm like, who cares? He was so into it. He'll never admit it now. No, you're absolutely right. Now, I do think athleticism, it's just more and more we're seeing quarterbacks who can do it all, including break from the pocket. And, look, go back to the 80s, and it's not like everybody was Dan Marino or Dan Fouts who could barely move like a half of a yard left or right, in the pocket. But it was a lot less. Like John Elway was a unicorn back then.
Yeah.
Because he was just running all over the place, also throwing the ball 90 yards on a line.
Well, just think.
And he was a bad decision maker early in his career, by the way, and got better.
Just think about the quarterbacks that have come in recently. You got Mahomes running around, slinging it all over the place. Justin Herbert running around, slinging it all over the place. I know Lamar is a little different, but them running around too.
But there's a guy who people questioned a lot of things, and he's pretty good.
Pretty good. The athleticism at that position now. Josh Allen running around, slinging the ball all over the place. The positions.
Jordan Love.
It's just different. Yeah.
Just
look for that
star in the waiting.
Yeah.
There's
great arm strength, great decision making. That's been on full display. Good stuff.
Yeah. No, look, Tannehill. They don't tap into it a ton, and I don't blame him because he's not a big slider. But Tannehill's athleticism has been a big part of his success.
Yeah.
Wait. Has he had any success in this league? Has he completed a pass? I don't know.
Mike from Nashville texting in says, why don't you do a mock draft of the mock drafters who get the most right? That's not a bad idea. We should keep track of who's the most accurate. I'm not going
to do that work, but I wish someone would, like the Bracket Matrix site. Yes.
I never go back immediately after the draft is over and look at Kuiper's his latest mock draft before the draft and okay, is he anywhere close? Does this break down anywhere near? I'm sure some years it does, and some years he's just totally off.
I feel like very few mock drafts have more than 10 right.
Hey,
if I'm wrong on that, that's just me throwing out a number. But I think it's about there. If you got 10 right, you did pretty well.
Yeah. We'll continue to take your thoughts on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025, 615-737-1025. Today is April 12th. Is there something that is going on, or more accurately has not gone on yet, that should cause Predators fans more concern? We'll get to that next. This is Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Every Wednesday at 6, we go behind the glass with current and former Predators players, along with coaches and broadcasters for Nashville Live.
Yost, Hal, and I were just talking about last night's game. It was a big game for us.
Presented by New Amsterdam Vodka, Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, and Red Spirits and Wine on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
The 2022 Major League Soccer season is officially here, and the Nashville SC Stadium nearly complete. Don't miss Nashville SC's home opener May 1st. Grab a seat at nashvillesc.com/22ticks.
Spring has sprung, which means it's time to renew your home with Social Furniture. It's their Spring Fling sale, where all furniture is up to 50% off. That's right, up to 50% off on top name brands such as Serta, Sealy, Simmons, Caracol, Bernhardt, and Woodhouse. At Social Furniture, you'll find new bedroom furniture, mattresses, and sofas, all up to 50% off. Spring into Social Furniture today on Charlotte Avenue in West Nashville. Shop local, shop social. Social Furniture is a proud supporter of your Nashville Predators.
Hey y'all, it's Caroline Fenton, and I want to tell you about my friends over at 312 Pizza Company. 312 Pizza is my favorite place in town. It's family owned and operated, bringing you a slice of Chicago to Nashville. 312 Pizza Company specializes in deep dish pizza, thin crust pizza, and all things Chicago style, always made from scratch using secret family recipes passed down generation to generation. 312 Pizza is open every day except for Tuesday and is located in Germantown with dine-in, takeout, and curbside available. Call 615-730-7888 or head to 312pizzaco.com to order. 312 Pizza Company, Nashville's authentic Chicago pizzeria.
Finding the right person for the job isn't easy. Just ask someone who hired a lounge singer to be their office receptionist.
Hello, this is Mickey Marquis, and you've reached the office of Doug & Associates. Thank you very much. Catch me Tuesday nights at the Hotel Johnson. Hello?
But if you've got an insurance question, you can always count on your local Geico agent. They can bundle your policies, which could save you hundreds.
Doug & Associates, this is Mickey Marquis. Hello?
For expert help with all your insurance needs, visit geico.com/local today.
And now it's Geico's Motorcycle Rules of the Road. Avoid biking in the rain and never touch another person's bike.
Hey guys, look at these bikes. So shiny. Whoops. I'm gonna leave a note. Oh gosh, there's more.
And the rule to saving on motorcycle insurance is, in 15 minutes, Geico could save you 15% or more.
The sound of you doing is music to our ears. Order on the Home Depot app and get convenient delivery, so you don't have to stop doing when you need something. The Home Depot app. How doers get more done.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone, America's #1 brakes destination. We have the pads, rotors, drums, shoes, and brake fluids to improve your stopping power. Right now, save 15% when you get any 2 Duralast rotors with a set of Duralast brake pads. Missing a tool? Ask about our free Loan-A-Tool program and borrow the tools you need to get the job done.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Claim based on data from the MPD Group 2021. Deposit required for Loan-A-Tool.
ESPN's Teron Davenport breaks down the Titans like no other.
On the field chemistry, I don't think it's going to be a problem. It's just going to be a process.
Catch TD Mondays at 11, Thursdays at 3, and Fridays at 8. Plus, the Talking with TD podcast drops every Wednesday.
When you draft players, it's not just for one season, it's for a career.
Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey Nashville, this is Rick Stockstill, and you're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 1025 The Game.
Seltzerland is turning Nashville into a hard seltzer paradise on Saturday, April 30th at Riverside Golf Links. You can enjoy this one-of-a-kind immersive experience as you spend the day tasting over 100 unique hard seltzers, indulge in mouth-watering munchies, get tons of seltzer swag, and bust out the Graham for the most Insta-worthy moments. Seltzerland has rounded up the best hard seltzer brands in the land for one epic day dedicated to the bubbly brew everyone can't get enough of. Go to theGameNashville.com/contest to enter for your chance to win tickets to Seltzerland. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 1025 The Game. We have the Rex Rant coming up at 7:45. Gonna be a spicy one today. Looking forward to that one coming up at 7:45.
I think this Rex Rant will be short. It'll be accompanied by audio.
Kind of speaks for itself, maybe?
Yeah, like I feel like my rant will be the rant of most of society.
Probably.
But then again, maybe I'm too optimistic about society.
What we should do is have the rant and then just let Twitter decide, because Twitter makes great decisions.
That's true. Yes. We should just put everything to Twitter.
That's right. Joe, today is April the 12th. We're getting close to the playoffs in the NHL. The trade deadline is almost a month past us at this point. It was March 21st, and that day came and went, and there was no new contract for Philip Forsberg. Today is April 12th, and there is still no new contract for Philip Forsberg. We're getting close to the playoffs, the end of the regular season in the next couple of weeks. Has your concern level increased with the fact that Philip Forsberg still, almost a month after the deadline, has not been signed to a contract extension if you're a Preds fan?
Yeah, I would say so. I don't have a number for you. But, yeah, I would say that I'm surprised. I figured by now it would be done, and it doesn't mean it won't get done. Man, is it coming down outside.
It is.
Doesn't mean it won't get done, but I got to wonder, is there just some gap there that neither side is – I mean, obviously they haven't come together and made a deal, so is there something that they can't overcome here to figure this out?
I don't know. I mean, my concern level's gone up. I mean, I've been pretty confident most of the year that this is going to get done. And if I had to, lay my chips on the table and say one way or the other, he either re-signs or leaves, I'd still go re-signs. But I'm starting to raise my eyebrows a little bit. I mean, I did not expect them in the last few weeks leading up to the trade deadline. I didn't expect them to get it done by the deadline. It just kind of felt like that wasn't going to happen. I did think there may be a scenario where maybe a couple weeks after that it could be done. And here we are. It's April the 12th. It's not done yet at this point. Now, David Poile did say at his press conference at the trade deadline that, things are going to quiet down a little bit now that the deadline is moved past. And honestly, I think a lot of people have forgotten about it to this point. But I was thinking about it yesterday. Like, today is April the 12th, and the deadline or the regular season's over with in a couple of months, and then you've got the playoffs. And after that, like, the season's done. People move on to the off season, and they go their separate ways. And some people hang around Nashville for a while. Some people head back over to Europe. I mean, there's a lot of things that could happen if you let this get to free agency. So my concern level has gone up. I still would, if I had to pick one, I think he re-signs, but I am raising my eyebrows that it's not happened yet. It does make me wonder, like, is the gap so big that you just may not be able to bridge that at some point?
Yeah, it's a good question. And obviously you lose that eighth year, that advantage you have. If he goes to free agency, and everybody's on the same. So to me, you've lost him. If he go right, I mean,
I think you could still get the eighth. I don't know. I have to look into it.
I don't think so.
May not be able to. I need to double check.
Once the period starts, the free agency period.
That may
starts,
be right. I think you're right. Yep.
Then I'm quite sure.
Well, let's be honest. Like, if he gets the free agency period,
you probably already
gone
lost.
anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you probably already lost anyway. But I'm just saying, like that's your advantage right now. And I don't know. What's the latest? I sometimes can listen to David Poile on DDC. I sometimes can't.
Yep.
Like, what's the latest thing that David Poile says? Is he just trying to not talk about this?
Still working on it.
Yeah, still working on it. Yeah. No, it's concerning, and I stick with the idea that Roman Josi should be the highest paid player on this team. Is that a problem? I mean, does Forsberg just think he should be making $10 million a year?
Well, that's the thing. Like, I agree with you. Roman Josi should be the highest paid player on the team. But also, if I'm Philip Forsberg, like, I can't just be like, well, I know you signed Roman Josi to this contract, but just because you signed him to this contract does not devalue my position. Like, if he thinks that he can get 9.5 on the open market or 10 on the open market or whatever it is, like, is he supposed to settle for less than that just because Roman Josi makes 9.059?
No,
I don't know.
But if he gets 10 on the open market, that's 70. So
sure.
If he gets 9 here, that's 72. So,
well, maybe they just don't want to go to 9. I don't know. Like, there's obviously a gap somewhere. I don't know what that gap is, but it's concerning to me at this point. Nate on the text line says, if you are in the wanting the club to make the playoffs camp, wouldn't you want for the talks to quiet so Forsberg can focus on making the playoffs?
No. I would argue that it'd be a bigger distraction. I mean, let's understand what we do. Yeah, it's going to get brought up. It's going to get brought up around the playoffs, in the playoffs, whatever. So I think it's a bigger distraction if he's unsigned than if he's just signed and the thing is over by the time the playoffs start.
And
he knows the situation.
He knows they've been talking to him about a contract all year, and he's got 38 goals. It's obviously not affecting his play in a negative way.
Right.
Like, these guys can multitask.
Yeah, but like even just for the team, I would argue that having it done is better than not having it done and just saying, just put it aside and let's all.
I mean, the other part of this is if I'm a player, if I want you to be working on this if you're David Poile. I don't want this to be quiet. Like, I want you to work on this as much as possible because I want him to be back next year.
Right.
If I'm Roman Yossi in that room right now, I'm like, yeah, David, you take as much time as you need with Phillip. We don't need him in this team meeting. Just go over there and talk to him.
Right. Otherwise, you're basically like you're going into this postseason like, well, this is it, guys.
Yeah.
The band's not getting back together. We better win it this year.
Yeah.
No pressure. Yeah. It's not great.
Heidi from Dixon on the text line says, sign and trade him if he wants to go somewhere else. We can at least get a 4th rounder. Like, if Philip Forsberg's going to free agency, he's probably not agreeing to a sign and trade unless he, spells out, this is the team I want to be with, and the Predators agree to do that, which I guess is possible, but I'd be surprised.
I mean, certainly you'd prefer that if you're the Preds to just bye-bye, but, yeah, I wouldn't expect that to happen. I don't know. As each week passes and it's just nothing goes on, you just kind of figure there's just something there on one side or the other where it's just like, no, we're not doing that one. Are you going to change your mind?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, look, there's still some time. Obviously, you've got until the free agency period opens up in the NHL to get this done. So there's still plenty of time to do it, but there's been plenty of time to do it now for a long time. I mean, that's kind of the thing that I go back to is I felt like there should have been, and I think there was, some urgency there to try to get it done before the deadline, and it didn't happen. And I feel like there should still be that same level of urgency now, and maybe there is. It's just a little less public at the moment. But the fact that we're almost a month after the deadline, that tells me they really weren't all that close at the deadline. And maybe they just haven't been close the whole time. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe there's just, clearly with some of the stuff Poile said, at least there was no real momentum. But I didn't ever take anything he said as there's a huge gap. Just like this needs to get more serious. The talks need to get more serious, which I feel like J.P. Barry's just like, we'll wait.
Yeah, he continues to score on a nightly basis.
Yeah, right.
We'll wait.
Get him to 40, and then we'll see what you think. Yeah, the price keeps rising.
Maybe that's it.
Let's keep waiting, David.
Maybe he's waiting on Forsberg to hit 40. I don't know.
Maybe, and then he'll talk about it.
Coming up next, it is time for the Rex Rant. Joe Rexrode's rant of the day on the other side. This is Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
From the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center.
I'm Fox 17 News Code Red meteorologist Dan Guthrie. Scattered showers and thunderstorms will stick with us for a couple hours this morning, followed by dry times and warmer times this afternoon. High temperature up to 78 degrees.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Winter's a bad time for your furnace to go out, but it's never a bad time to call Lee Company. Our heating and air conditioning pros are available 24/7. No heat? Don't wait. Call Lee Company now at 615-567-1000. Our expert technicians will diagnose the issue and fix it right the first time. When you're cold, you need someone you can count on to bring the heat. Call Lee Company now at 615-567-1000 or visit leecompany.com.
Genesis Diamond's most anticipated event of the year is coming next weekend, April 22nd through 24th. Huge store-wide savings, plus thousands of new, unique designs from the biggest names in jewelry. All new collections, 2 years in the making, from names like Tacori, Verragio, and more. Rings, earrings, pendants, bands, many never seen before, and all specially priced for this 3-day event. Save up to 35%, zero interest financing. Bring your old jewelry and trade up. April 22nd through 24th, only at Genesis Diamonds, Green Hills, and Cool Springs.
The NBA play-in tournament is here, and FanDuel Sportsbook is going to hook you up. Bet at least $20 in same-game parlays on FanDuel Sportsbook, and you'll get an instant bonus, win or lose. That's right. Not only do you get to enjoy the NBA's best duking it out for the right to advance to the playoffs, but FanDuel is giving all customers a bonus for getting in on the action. And the more you bet, the bigger your bonus. I think you have to like the Nets and Kevin Durant with Kyrie Irving together, and you can make same-game parlays based off of that. FanDuel is an official partner of the NBA. Their app is safe to use, and you'll get your winnings fast. New to FanDuel, sign up with the promo code JGM to make every moment more. So don't just watch the NBA play-in tournament. Be a part of it. Bet at least $20 in same-game parlays and get instant bonuses. That's right, win or lose. 21 and older and present in Tennessee. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable free bets that expire in 7 days. Max bonus $100. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line 1-800-889-9789.
Attention veterans of Middle Tennessee. Little Guys Movers wants to put your hard-earned skills and leadership talent to work with your very own Little Guys Movers franchise. Be your own boss and build a team with standards as high as your own, and all while serving your community with the same hustle that you served your country. Use your existing 401k to invest in yourself. Financing options are available. Start a fulfilling, profitable new chapter of your life as a member of a team with 30-plus years of growth and good times at littleguysfranchise.com. That's littleguysfranchise.com.
O'Reilly. This is Sarah's O'Reilly Auto Parts story.
Driving cross country with 2 young children is ambitious, to say the least. Then our check engine light came on. We pulled into O'Reilly Auto Parts and they tested it. Turned out it was a faulty sensor. They referred us to a great mechanic just down the street, and we were back on the road in no time.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. A show that doesn't pull any punches.
And they win a playoff game and they get to the divisional round and he doesn't give up a sack the rest of the year. I don't give 2 poops. I'm done.
And has an opinion on everything.
That ref crew that was just terrible. Threw flags on almost every possession.
Jared Stillman hosts Stillman and Company.
Tough guy. He's a really tough guy.
Weekday afternoons from 2 to 6. Delivered by TriStar Moving on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN.
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
This is Robby and Rexrode on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
The time is now for the Rex Rant.
Sounds like somebody's got a case of the Mundus.
On Robby and Rexrode, here on ESPN 102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Radio song, you make me wanna roll my windows down and cruise down a back road, blowing stop signs.
And it is that time of the day, time for the Rex Rant here on Robby and Rexrode. Well, Florida-Georgia line bringing us back in here today. Cruise. Good day for cruising out there, too.
Were you guys at the Titans uniform reveal? You were there.
I was there as a fan, Joe.
Was this the song that Vrabel and that Rob sang together on stage?
I think it may have been.
This is the one?
I think it may have been.
I was so far away.
Why would you think this song would bother? It's a great tune. It's a jam.
You know what? I'm just happy to play what Michelle has edited for me.
So this is one of her Rex Rant
There are like
songs?
10 in here. Fully
Really?
edited, yeah.
Oh, there's some that seems like high. I feel like it's Don't Worry, Be Happy.
Yeah.
Obviously Creed. Little Blink-182, right?
Kokomo.
Oh, yeah, Kokomo. And then now we have this. So that's 5 I know of. I need to know what some of these deep cuts are.
Yeah.
But that's a great song. I want to – is there, like, footage of them singing? I remember
I'm sure there
standing
is.
there and I was like, oh, wow, those guys are actually going to sing this song, huh? I don't remember if they were good or not.
Well, they wouldn't be singing together now.
I honestly don't even remember them singing because from where I was probably at, like, the intersection of Broadway and 4th. It was just ants wearing light blue talking to each other.
The main thing that I remember about that night was, like, the weed smoke was so intense. I was like, dude, is this like my dorm in 1992? What is going on out here?
I got a texture that says, I thought that intro music was the Beatles. Thank you.
Yesterday, I wanted Max to play a bunch of Beatles jams. He only played one for me, but we'll get you.
Joe Rexrode, your rant of the day.
Well, my rant,
a good one.
My rant, actually, I'm going to turn it back to Max. Just Cam Newton was on some Barstool podcast, and he said stuff. And I think it's just best to just go ahead and play it.
Yeah.
I had a perfect
a perfect example of what a man was in my life by my father. My parents has been together for 36, 37 years now, and it's a beautiful thing. I grew up in a 3-parent household, my mom, my father, and my grandmother. And I knew what a woman was, not a bad bitch.
Okay, what's the difference?
A woman.
Okay.
A bad bitch is a person who's just, you know, girl, I'm a bad bitch. You know, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I look the part, but I don't act the part.
Okay.
You know, and it's a lot of women who are bad bitches, and I say in a way not to degrade a woman, but just to go off the aesthetic of what they deem is a boss chick. Now, a woman for me is handling your own, but knowing how to cater to a man's needs, right? And I think a lot of times when you get that aesthetic of like, I'm a boss, like I'm a this, I'm a that, no, baby, like, but you can't cook.
Okay.
You don't know when to be quiet. You don't know how to allow a man to lead.
That was Cam Newton. I missed that one yesterday until you pointed it out to me this morning. Wow.
I mean, honestly, I don't even really have anything to say other than, are you kidding me? I don't. I honestly, I'm speechless. This is a speechless Rex rant.
Yes.
Just with Cam, Cam is just, I mean, you got to be kidding me. And it does bring me back to Jordan Rodriguez, friend of the show, athletic reporter who covered the Panthers.
Yep.
You know, a few years ago, like she asked him about like Devin Funchess' routes, and he did like the whole, it's funny to hear a female talking about routes. Like, what?
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Just, I mean, please, just, I don't know if this has anything to do with Cam Newton, because there's a lot of stuff in reaction to this, which is to the effect of Cam Newton is hurting himself finding a team. I mean, look, again, with the NFL, let's look at Cam, let's look at Kaepernick, let's look at Deshaun Watson. If you feel like bringing someone on is going to turn off a ton of fans, then you're going to freak out about it and not do it. Colin Kaepernick. If you feel like this player can help you win, and there's people who get offended, then you'll still bring him on.
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
Cam Newton isn't good anymore, so I don't think it matters.
Well, don't tell Keyshawn that, but yeah. Yeah,
well, right. I'd like to hear his updated QB rankings. So I don't think this has anything to do with that. It's sad. I mean, it's sad. That's what it is. That's my rant today.
Yeah, Keith says on the text line, holy cow, my ears hurt. I think he's talking about Cam Newton there. Could be talking about Florida Georgia Line, but I think he's talking about Cam Newton.
Well, specify for us, Keith.
Yes.
Just
apparently now that
this
has been I've been made aware of this. Like, I must have missed this yesterday on social media. I wasn't on it much yesterday, but yeah, a lot of people talking about Cam Newton right now in those comments. That is it's quite something.
That's a doozy.
That's a doozy.
Again, it started out well, like parents, married, 30. Yeah. Okay, nice, and then I don't even know. Good bleeping there, Max.
Yeah, well done.
You went with the silent bleep rather than
a
the
classic.
Burp. Yeah, you prefer is that like our style?
Sure.
Do we have a preferred style?
That's my style.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
It's good bleeping.
Nate on the text line. Unpopular opinion. I don't know how I feel about a daily Rex rant. I look forward to it every Monday morning, but now I don't know. Too much of a good thing can be bad.
We've had some people react that way. We've had kind of both. I'm listening to the people. Whatever they want.
That's what we do here. A lot of people said they liked the daily Rex rant.
We're doing this. We are going to do this.
We're listening to the people.
Someone just said they don't want this.
Well, most people have said they love it.
So we're ignore the people.
Well, I'm just trying to be as fair as I can be.
And by the way, this Cam, who is this? Keith said the SJW segment with Joe Rexrode. That's social justice warrior, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, you must be an SJW to not subscribe to Women Need to Cook
and
fairness, be quiet.
He said this before you even had the rant.
Yeah, you knew. You knew, Keith. You never know, man.
Ugh.
One of these days, I could throw a curveball on you.
Keith did confirm that it was Cam he was talking about with the ears hurting. Not Florida Georgia line.
I mean, what is he? I don't know, man.
He's an interesting guy, man. He really is. Interesting guy.
Yeah, I'm
interested to see now, this aside, to your point, it's going to come down to, does a team feel like he can play and help them win? But do you really want to put yourself through all the Cam Newton drama when he's going to be probably your backup quarterback?
Well, he's not very good anymore. He's banged up. He's not. I don't think he's relevant as an NFL quarterback anymore. But, when Cam was a great player and he won the MVP, there was a lot of backlash about the way he acted and things like that, and I thought it was so misguided. He's giving footballs to kids. He's doing, he's having some antics after scoring touchdowns or whatever. But
the Titans hated it when he came here a few years ago. Hated it. Tried to fight him after he was
in 2015
doing the first down dances and all that. They hated it.
Yeah. And I thought, I didn't like some of that reaction. I understand. Look, if you don't like somebody doing that stuff,
stop it.
It's like the Vols right now in baseball. Well, then okay, then they just hit another home run on you. So you can do something about it. You can stop the team from running up the score on you. Whatever. I thought a lot of that stuff was stupid. But man, this is he wants it to be 1953. I don't know, man.
I don't know either. Sean on the text line says, I want all of it. Rexrode for life. This is coming from Sean on the text line. Sean, big fan of Joe Rexrode, as we've discovered on the text line.
Okay, wait. Is this Sean?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, okay. All right. So you want sockless Rex rants.
Max is looking around
Max.
like, what?
Max has no idea what's going on. And honestly, yeah, that's a good idea by Rob from Clarksville. Time for a Twitter poll on the Rex rant. Send it to the internet. See, here's what I like about
psychos decide.
Let the psychos decide. One thing I do like about a daily Rex rant is that we get you ranting and we get Michelle. And in fact, Max,
if you want to do it,
you're with us again tomorrow. If you'd like,
you're fired up about something.
If you want to do a Max rant tomorrow, then we've got a spot for you.
Oh yeah,
I do like the flexibility to let others get in it because I could never do 5 a week. But if we have the segment open, and then whoever on the show would like to rant, I feel like there's 5 rants a week available to all of us, right?
I agree. John the mailman says, Max protecting the listeners' ears with a silent bleep. Well done, Max.
It was a very.
Lots of love for Max on the text line.
Good.
This is like when I edit the POP, and if you guys have listened to the POP in between segments, there's basically a sonic boom to separate segments because there's no commercials, and I've gradually, quietly made it much less loud.
Yeah. By the way, POP, Pred's official podcast.
So, someone tweeted in and told Brooks that their car shakes every time the segment changes.
Oh, good stuff. This has been the Rex Rant, the Daily Rex Rant. Very popular on the text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025. Coming up next, we'll hear from Jeff Calkins from the Daily Memphian. We'll get his thoughts on the Grizzlies as they head into the playoffs. Lots of high expectations for Memphis. We'll get to that next. This is Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 1025, The Game.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
Time for the Press Report.
Presented by Newton Nissan.
The Nashville Predators got the news last night, along with the rest of the NHL, that Penguins forward Evgeny Malkin has been suspended 4 games for cross-checking Predators defenseman Mark Borowiecki to the face during Sunday afternoon's game. So that supplementary discipline there does not necessarily help the Predators now, who did not have the services of Borowiecki for the third period and overtime on Sunday. Predators host the San Jose Sharks tonight in the opening game of a 5-game homestand. Predators 2-0 against the Sharks this year, including an 8-0 beating of the Sharks in San Jose last month, a game where 3 Predators scored 2 goals each. Pre-game show will be underway tonight at 6 o'clock, the game at 7. Hope you can join Darren McFarland for pregame and Hal Gill along with me for the game. This is Pete Weber of the Fifth Third Bank, Nashville Predators Radio Network.
All the best car deals in Smashville start at Newton Nissan. Visit them at Newton Nissan of Gallatin or Newton Nissan South in Shelbyville.
This is Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 The Game.
Realizing Geico has over 85 years of experience saving folks money and providing great customer service is like realizing there's a crumb tray on the bottom of your toaster, and you don't have to keep turning the toaster upside down to clean it.
How long has that been there? Hey, who needs some croutons?
It's something that's been right there in front of you all along, like the dedicated Geico claims team available to you in the event of an accident to get you back on the road quickly, or realizing that baby carrots are just regular carrots that have been shaved down.
I don't care. They're still cute.
It's something you can't believe you never realized before, like how Geico's 97% customer satisfaction rating means Geico is committed to providing the best service for their customers, or how you can peel the top layer of tape off a lint roller and there's a fresh layer underneath.
Marcy, wait till you hear about the lint roller.
You mean how the handle is reusable?
Wait, what?
Trust. It's just one of the many reasons to switch to Geico. They're all right there in front of you.
Spring into savings at Electronic Express. Get up to 40% off the latest 4K TVs from Samsung, LG, Sony, Hisense, TCL, and more. That's not all. Get huge savings in every department, like computers and gaming, smart home, housewares, mattresses, and more. Plus, save up to 40% on all appliances with up to 36 months free financing. Shop in-store or online with free express delivery on most items. Shop locally owned and family operated at Electronic Express. We make it happen.
Nothing makes one feel better than the ability to give to someone in need. You have the power to give the most important gift of all, the gift of life, with a donation of your blood. Supplies are desperately low in our area, and your help is needed. Blood Assurance is a nonprofit community blood center that supplies our Middle Tennessee area hospitals. Please find it in your heart to donate. Be someone's hero today. Go to bloodassurance.org to find a location or blood drive near you. That's bloodassurance.org. Give blood, give local, save lives with Blood Assurance.
From the Hillside Medical Game Studios, WPRT-FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne, Nashville's exclusive home for the Nashville Predators.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
A Cromwell Media Station.
It's Robby and Rexrode with Robby Stanley and Joe Rexrode on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Welcome back in hour number 3 of Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game. Brought to you by Little Guys Movers. Here's your chance to be your own boss. Join their team of 30-plus years of profits and good times. Visit littleguysfranchise.com. Robby Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Max Hers here with you on this Tuesday morning. And we go to our 102.5 The Game phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. And welcome in Jeff Calkins from the Daily Memphian. Jeff, what's going on? How we doing?
I'm good, Joe. Robby, how are you?
We are great. Good. Appreciate you taking time to be with us this morning. So we've talked about this on the show. It's been such an exciting year for the Memphis Grizzlies and obviously Ja Morant, one of the most exciting players in the NBA. What's kind of the vibe like in Memphis right now as this team heads into the playoffs? How much damage do you think this Grizzlies team can do?
Well, I mean, people are understandably giddy, and getting ready for the playoff run. We haven't ever had this circumstance where you get to watch a play-in game as we see the Clippers and Timberwolves play tonight for the right to play the Grizzlies. So that's a new one. And it's been a fascinating year because, at the start of this year, COVID restrictions, vaccination requirements, mask requirements, the arena was sort of half full. You wondered if people were going to get back in the habit of going to sporting events. And by the end, the tickets are hotter than they've literally ever been. So I think it really, not only did the country have to catch up on how good these Grizzlies are, the city sort of had to this is way ahead of schedule. This was supposed to be a year of further development, and maybe you could get to 6th in the West. No one expected the 2-seed division title, except maybe the Grizzlies. So, it's been intoxicating, and people are thrilled. In terms of what they can do, I think that the range of possibilities for the Grizzlies includes losing in the first round and winning the NBA title. And it is very rare you can say that, and I don't know for most teams you can say that, but I think for this team it is both. It is not inconceivable that they would lose a series to the Clippers or the Timberwolves, honestly, and it is not inconceivable in this wide open year that they could, have a parade down Beale Street.
Did you ever approach a previous postseason, Jeff, believing that, those teams, those Zebo, Tony Allen, Mike Conley teams could win it going into a postseason?
No, for two reasons. One is they didn't have the ceiling that this team has. They didn't have as high a ceiling. Very good, a collection of very good, determined, gritty, all that players, but they didn't have the ceiling that this team has. They didn't have the superstar that is Ja Morant. And so I think that's different. The other thing, though, that's different is back then there was always a super team, a Death Star out there. The Golden State Warriors were doing, crazy Golden State Warrior things, and Kevin Durant was playing alongside Steph and Draymond Green and everything else. And so you could imagine, the Spurs were being the Spurs. So you could imagine a playoff run. And when the Grizzlies got to the Western Conference Finals, that was the year that Russell Westbrook was hurt in Oklahoma City and things fell just the right way. But then they get to the Western Conference Finals and they're swept by the Spurs. Now, obviously the Suns have been the best team in the league all year long, but they're not objectively as terrifying as teams were. This is a much more wide open NBA. And so I think for two reasons, you never had this thought before that, my God, they could win the title. And now, again, you'd probably pick 3 or 4 teams, 2 or 3 teams anyway, that you would pick to win the title before the Grizzlies, but you wouldn't have to go too far down.
Jeff Calkins from the Daily Memphian on the line with us, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. And, Jeff, sometimes it's difficult to remember that Ja Morant's only 22 years old and is already as good as he is, and that he's going to, conceivably get better as they move forward here. What kind of a recruiting tool can he be to Memphis for the Grizzlies? And based on the way that this team plays around him right now, do you think this team is already deep enough to win an NBA title?
Well, in this NBA, yes, this team could win a title. And this team certainly matured another year. Desmond Bain another year older. Jaren Jackson Jr. another year older. Ja Morant could win a title. What you don't know is what the rest of the NBA is going to look like. So right now there's no equivalent of those super teams. What happens if Kawhi Leonard comes back and Paul George is healthy and they add another star, and then all of a sudden, well, what happens if the Nets look like the Nets were supposed to look like, right? So, but right now, as currently constituted, they're certainly good enough. I don't think that even with Ja, the Grizzlies are going to be, there's talk of Zion, honestly, and, Jalen Rose brought up the idea that don't discount Zion coming to Memphis, and that has all kinds of intriguing possibilities and terrifying possibilities both. But beyond that, I don't think Memphis is going to be a destination. But, the Spurs weren't, when they were winning, they weren't a destination. They had a group of players who they drafted in Ginobili and Tony Parker and obviously Tim Duncan. And that group looked around and said, I don't have to go to Los Angeles. I don't have to go to New York. We like it here. We like playing with each other. And we can have a 10-year run where we win a bunch of titles. And I think that's sort of the hope for this Grizzlies team, is that they seem to love playing with each other. It's been one of the joys of watching them, is the pleasure that they take in playing with each other. And so if they can hang together and maybe make some financial sacrifices when the time comes, and then you can fit pieces. But I don't think, I don't think Memphis is ever going to be the place where the next LeBron says, I want to go, plant my flag.
So in terms of this team's surprising excellence, Jeff, I think Bain, you mentioned Bain, that seems to me a big part of it, is that what he has become. What else when you look at everything coming together? Because obviously they played so well without Ja too. But what else has been individually surprising for you to make this happen?
Well, what happened with this team is that if before the season began you said we would like to see these things happen, every one of those things happened pretty much. And so one was you want Ja to make the superstar leap, to go from being, oh gosh, he looks really promising a lot of time, to become a legit star. That happened. I think some people would argue that maybe the most important thing that happened, because you could sort of see that one coming, was Jaren Jackson Jr. becoming legitimately a defensive player of the year candidate. I think probably underrated defensive player of the year candidate. The guy is tremendous. And he does it, as a forward/center. He's blocking, more shots than anyone else. And he's doing it not playing center most of his minutes. And so in this NBA, he challenges shots all over the court. He's switchable. He's truly a force. As you point out, Desmond Bane, again, making the leap from looks good, looks like it could be something, to a legit. Like I saw ESPN did a top 25 players under, I don't know what the age was, 24, and those three are all on it. Desmond Bane ranked even higher than Jaren Jackson Jr. I don't know that that's the right ranking, but so that happened. Steven Adams, there was some thought, are they going to miss Jonas Valanciunas and his play down low? And Steven Adams has done exactly what you wanted him to do, which is rebound and set picks, and he's an effective passer. And so you can, Tyus Jones, you can go right down the line. Everything that you wanted to happen, this preseason you assemble your list of questions, they were all answered. And I don't think you can ignore Taylor Jenkins, who has just, to be able to do what he has done, particularly with Ja out, is really pretty extraordinary. When they were able to beat the Suns the other day with their backups and the Suns starters, I think that was sort of, that was Exhibit A in his Coach of the Year candidacy.
No question. Now, Jeff, I do want to switch gears before I let you go on the other Memphis basketball team, the college basketball. I feel like when Penny Hardaway threw profanity in your general direction, that seemed to be a big moment for that program. Where is that? Where are things headed? And now you have the notice of allegations. What's your right now assessment?
I was the person who asked the question of Penny that and he responded with the "stop asking stupid effing questions, bro." I don't really think, honestly, it was directed at me, but he was incredibly frustrated at that point. They had lost 8 of 12, and it was looking like year 4 of the Penny Hardaway era was going to collapse, and another promising recruiting class he wasn't going to deliver on. And I just think, honestly, he was frustrated. The question that I asked was, have you ever lost faith that you can get this done? Honestly, not a particularly disrespectful question. And so he erupted. That happened. I don't know that the rant in that moment became the catalyst. What did happen is Penny started playing the right guys, and the right guys got healthy, and he shortened the rotation, and all this crazy, subbing people every 3 seconds that he was doing, he sort of stopped doing, and they went on a run. Won a tournament game, got to the tournament, won a tournament game, played Gonzaga valiantly, and you're like, okay, this is great. That looks like the Tigers have finally turned the corner, and the Penny Hardaway era has regained its promise. And then, of course, you've got the notice of allegations, and so everything now grinds to a halt because you have people entering the transfer portal, and you have it almost nearly impossible to recruit to that. When the expectation is between now and the start of the season, they'll get their punishment, and the punishment will include a postseason ban. And so you can recruit to that. Musa Cisse went to Oklahoma State, whatever. I mean, it's possible, but it certainly puts it had looked like, look at this, Penny saved the day here, and now it's all a little bit thrown back into flux. The difference, though, with almost every other situation is that Memphis is just never going to get rid of Penny Hardaway. So it doesn't matter. Like, people love him. And so it really doesn't matter what happens. He will leave when he chooses to leave. And because of that, he might be able to, weather the storm, whatever that storm looks like.
Jeff Calkins from the Daily Memphian, our guest here on Robby and Rexrode. Jeff, really appreciate you taking time to join us this morning.
Yeah, good to talk to you both. Thanks.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Jeff. Really
interesting stuff there. Going to be interesting to see how Memphis handles their playoff run. Do you care about the Grizzlies? Are you bought in to the Memphis Grizzlies as they now enter into the NBA playoffs? Hit up our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025, 615-737-1025. You're listening to Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 1025 The Game.
Join ESPN 1025 The Game for the Music City Celebrity Golf Tournament. benefiting Folds of Honor on May 16th at Hermitage Golf Course. Put your team together and come play with the athletes, musicians, and other local celebrities. The Music City Celebrity Golf Tournament. Sign up at theGameNashville.com/golf.
The 2022 Major League Soccer season is officially here, and the Nashville SC Stadium nearly complete. Don't miss Nashville SC's home opener May 1st. Grab a seat at NashvilleSC.com/22ticks.
Hey, it's Jared from my friends at Hiller. Hiller is giving away free vacations for you and your family this month. With every purchase of a new whole home generator or select new HVAC systems, Hiller is giving you a free week-long vacation. With every purchase of a new tankless water heater, they're going to give you a free weekend vacation. And they're giving you a Visa Rewards card to help pay for gas to get you there. Choose from over 400 Marriott, Wyndham, Hilton, or Hyatt hotel properties. Take advantage of this unbelievable deal while you can. These deals are only available for a limited time, so schedule today. Visit happyhiller.com for all of the details.
Spring has sprung, which means it's time to renew your home with Social Furniture. It's their Spring Fling sale, where all furniture is up to 50% off. That's right, up to 50% off on top name brands such as Serta, Sealy, Simmons, Caracol, Bernhardt, and Woodhouse. At Social Furniture, you'll find new bedroom furniture, mattresses, and sofas, all up to 50% off. Spring into Social Furniture today on Charlotte Avenue in West Nashville. Shop local, shop social. Social Furniture is a proud supporter of your Nashville Predators.
When it matters, companies need more than just a delivery service. Cintas delivers full service and the reliability that comes with having a dedicated Cintas service rep who understands your business, which means they deliver confidence and peace of mind too. For uniforms, cleaning essentials, mats, first aid and safety supplies, and fire protection services, discover the personal attention you get with Cintas.
Oh, I'm ready!
Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
Circle up, team. We've got status.
Evelyn's marketing consultancy client roster is skyrocketing.
Okay, so this week is a biggie. We've got the pitch and 3 client meetings.
She needs another analyst before her team's free time plummets.
Who's running the competitive analysis on fruit snacks?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone, America's #1 brakes destination. We have the pads, rotors, drums, shoes, and brake fluids to improve your stopping power. Right now, save 15% when you get any 2 Duralast rotors with a set of Duralast brake pads. Missing a tool? Ask about our free Loan-A-Tool program and borrow the tools you need to get the job done.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Claim based on data from the MPD Group 2021. Deposit required for Loan-A-Tool.
Interact with Robby and Rexrode. Call or text the show at 615-737-1025. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
They're playing basketball. We love that basketball.
1025 The Game has your chance to win a pair of tickets to the Arkham Menard NASCAR Xfinity Series doubleheader coming up on Saturday, April 23rd, and a pair of tickets to the Geico 500 on Sunday, April 24th. Just submit a picture of you wearing your NASCAR swag using the hashtag Dega to our social media accounts, at 1025 The Game on Twitter, at The Game Nashville on Facebook and Instagram. That's hashtag Dega to our social media accounts, at 1025 The Game on Twitter, at The Game Nashville on Facebook and Instagram. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 1025 The Game. Streaming live on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. Our video streaming brought to you by the law offices of Amanda Gentry. We are live from the Hillside Medical Game Studio on this Tuesday morning. Thanks to Jeff Calkins from the Daily Memphian for joining us in the last segment. The Memphis Grizzlies will await the Minnesota Timberwolves and the LA Clippers tonight and take on the winner of that game in their playoff series. My question around here is, it's one thing in the regular season. You see Memphis having this great year and Ja Morant doing what he does. But it's the regular season. It's an NBA team that is not in our city. I don't know how much people really follow it here in Nashville then. Now that the playoffs are here and that you heard Jeff Calkins talk about it the last segment, they've got a legitimate chance to do some damage and make some noise in the playoffs. I wonder if you're a casual sports fan here in Nashville, if you're an NBA fan here in Nashville, are you bought in to the Memphis Grizzlies, Ja Morant and company making a run during this postseason? I'm interested to see. According to the text line, there's a lot of people that are bought in.
Yeah, the text line has been positive. You know what? I think this needs to be a poll, right? But the problem is,
you're gonna make a poll question?
I am. I'm doing it right now as we speak.
Come on.
So the problem with doing a poll online is that now there's like randos like in Michigan are gonna like respond whatever they want to just to like skew the poll. So I'm saying Nashville folks and surrounding only, please.
Yes.
Do you care? Help me compose this. Do you care about the Memphis Grizzlies in the playoffs?
Yeah.
Right?
That's good.
It,
That's
right?
good.
Oh wait, do you have to? I'm typing this out, but I didn't make a poll. Gosh dang it! Can you quote tweet a poll? Can you do a poll as a quote tweet?
I don't think so. I don't know. I've never tried that.
Do you want me to just tweet it from the station account, Joe?
I was trying to
let Max step in and handle it.
Well, let me see. No, because I have more followers. Sorry.
Oh,
I don't mean to like you know like flex or anything on you, but you know what I'm saying. But although actually a lot of my followers are probably still in Michigan.
Oh,
and they're Russian bots. The other day, a second time that I've been told by Twitter that an account in Moscow is trying to access my account.
Jeez.
Moscow is trying desperately to use my Twitter might against the world.
I think they got some other things they are preoccupied with
yeah,
at the moment.
but you know, that Twitter war is a big one too for them apparently. So, okay.
You're like the next Darren Rovell, Joe. Like, here's my poll. Please only vote if you attended Michael Jordan's first, second, or third NBA game and have a copy of the ticket in your basement.
Is that what he does?
If not, please don't vote. Like, that's not going to work.
Yeah.
I vote in every Twitter poll I see, whether I know what it is or not.
All right, just do the poll. I won't do it. I'm completely botching
Just
this.
defeated.
What's the question? It's been so long, I forgot.
But for Nashville
residents only.
Well, I think from our station account, I don't think you need to put that disclaimer on there, do you?
No. Just say, do you care about the Grizzlies?
Yeah,
and their
it was a dumb idea for me to do it because I saw like Michigan State people who just haven't unfollowed me.
Yeah,
you know that's probably a lot of my followers, just Michigan State fans who just lazily have not unfollowed me yet.
That's right.
So why do we care what they think?
Matt from Camden texting in on the text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. I think the Grizz can make a run this year, but moving forward, I think they're one star player away from being a consistent force for the next few years. I think they need that other superstar beside Ja, and they could win multiple championships. This is coming from Matt from Camden on the text line.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that they need another superstar. I've seen teams without any superstars win titles. This is actually possible. I'll take you back to 2004. That team, Detroit Pistons team, did not have any superstars. They had a lot of really good players. Chauncey Billups was a really good player. Rip Hamilton, Ben Wallace, really good players. I see a little bit of that just in what Calkins said about this team in terms of they are definitely a sum of parts team, but then they have one absolute superstar.
Yeah.
So I don't know that he has to have – I think if you have Jaren Jackson doing what he's doing and coming on, and Bane is a big deal, I do feel like maybe one more shooting wing who's really good could be something to put him over the top. You could always look at maybe somebody offensively around the basket a little more effective. But when they play at their best, at their highest level,
yeah,
I'm with Calkins. I think that this is the best. I mean, the way you can say it that he didn't quite say it is this is the best chance Memphis has had to win a world championship.
Yeah,
entering a postseason ever.
For sure. I don't think it's really close either.
Yeah,
like those grit and grind teams were good, but there was never a second.
There was a limit.
They could win a title.
I didn't either. It was like it'd be a great story. Really liked those teams a lot. But yeah, they just weren't quite there. And like he said, Phoenix is the best team, but I don't look at Phoenix as some insurmountable force. They can be beaten.
Let's go to the text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Got a texture that says, "Love the Grizzlies in the NBA. Also appreciate the NBA you do bring up. Would encourage more of it." It's coming from a texter on the text line. Got another texture that says, "Heck yeah, we're into the Grizz. Preds, Titans, and Grizz are Tennessee's professional teams and should be supported by all Tennessee sports fans. Go Grizz." This is coming from a texter on the text line.
And there's got to be some counters to this because we've had it before where people are like, "Don't ever talk NBA again, or I will never turn you back on."
Yes.
Okay, so I got someone, Seth, on the text line. I don't watch NBA. I haven't watched a minute all year, but I would consider watching them if they reach the conference final. Okay, that's fair.
Yeah,
that happens.
I made that one of the options in the poll before We even heard that text.
Wow. Did you send the poll out?
It is from 102.5 The Game. The 4 options are I'm watching every game, will follow when I can, only from West Finals on, and the last one is who's Steven Adams.
Very nicely done.
See, a better poll than I ever could have come up with. Mine was going to be yes, no.
Yes or no.
Right,
Caleb
this is
texting
good.
in says, I've never watched a full game, college or pro. I may consider getting a ticket, though. Talking about the Grizzlies playoff run.
Okay.
I would love to
You
go
may
to
have
a
to pay a
game.
lot of money.
That
You
would
may.
be what would really rope me in.
Yeah.
A chance to go to a game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. This has been this has kind of been an ongoing. So I'm trying to think, when the heck was it? It was right before COVID. So, yeah, more than 2 years ago. I went down there and did a thing for The Athletic on can Nashville, and that was when they were like, okay, but you could tell he was becoming a star. Can Nashville get into the Grizzlies? And no one ever really answered me. It was like a tree falling in the forest, But it was.
Well, now he is a star.
Yeah. I mean, he has become something totally different from 2 years ago, although you could see it coming.
Yeah.
And it was exciting. And it was actually I went to a Grizz Pistons game. And it was you could see the momentum, but now it's big time. He is incredible, and they are way better this year. Just like Calkins said, way better than I ever would have guessed this year. If we get Grizzlies Warriors in the Western semis, oh boy.
Let me ask you this.
Is that a doozy?
Here's a tough question. I'm going to ask it to you anyway. Who's the best athlete in Tennessee right now, professional sports? John Morant, Roman Yossi, Derrick Henry.
Okay, wait. See now. I need this best athlete, best player
at their sport.
Best player. Yeah, best player at their sport. So you're talking about. Okay, John Morant's not winning the MVP. I don't know where he would be on the list. Was he all NBA? Has that been decided yet, or is that coming out this week?
I think it's coming out this week.
That's a big deal. Will he be? I think he might be, right? Okay. Roman Yossi should win the Norris. So that's the tops at his position. He's in the midst of potentially still. I mean, he's still got a chance, 13 in 10 games. Certainly he can do that. To be on a very short list of like a handful of defensemen who've ever done that in the history of the sport.
Yep. And
Derrick Henry, I mean, we forget because he broke his foot, but you could argue that he's top 5, top 10 player in the NFL.
If he'd stayed healthy, he might have ran for 2,200 yards.
That's a really good question. Can we do another poll question, Max? I don't know. Like, I don't have it. I mean, when you said that, I was like, I wanted to say John Morant, but you know what? I don't know about that. Man. I don't know about that. And I think here's the thing. So Derrick Henry has carried a team largely to the AFC Championship game, to within one step of the pinnacle. I want to answer that question after I see this playoff.
Yeah.
From John Morant. And with Yossi has been a part of a team playing for the Stanley Cup final, but like I would look at both of these postseasons ahead for the Grizz and for the Preds, if the Preds have one, and say, this is where you can help be a tiebreaker.
Yeah.
Can you carry a team when it really matters? Derrick Henry has done that.
Caleb on the text line says, as a non-Grizzlies fan living in Memphis, you would think the Grizzlies have won 6 championships in a row. It's unbearable. This is coming from Caleb on the text
Come
line.
on, Caleb.
A lot of love for the Grizz in Memphis, apparently.
Caleb, enjoy it, man. It's so great when a city gets into a team.
We'll continue to take your thoughts on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025. Who is the closest professional sports team in Middle Tennessee, or just the whole state, to winning a championship? Is it the Grizzlies? Is it the Titans? Preds? Nashville SC? Take it any way you want to take it. 615-737-1025. You're listening to Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 1025 The Game.
Hey, I'm Matthias Ekholm, and this is Smashville.
Ekholm, his shot, he scores! Matthias Ekholm gets the Predators' third of the night.
You're listening to the flagship of the Nashville Predators radio network, ESPN 1025 The Game.
So many words to describe Panera's new Chef's Chicken Sandwiches, but just one bite will leave you speechless. Panera, the familiar made fantastic. Enjoy a $1 delivery fee when you order on their app. Restrictions apply.
When it's more than just your lawn, it deserves the Kubota Z400. Get a head-turning offer on class-leading speed, agility, simple deck height adjustments, and a quality cut. When you need comfort and performance, then you need the professional-grade Kubota Z400. Right now, get the Kubota Z400 mower for 0 down, 0% APR for 36 months, or save $300. Now through June 30th. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Come see why Coleman Tractor Company is one of the largest Kubota dealers in Middle Tennessee, with 4 locations to serve you in Paris, Clarksville, Nashville, and their new location in White House.
Hey, Darren McFarland here, and I'm excited to tell you about my friends at Spring Hill Heating and Cooling. Spring is here. If your AC or heating unit is old and inefficient, then you need to take advantage of the Spring Hill Spring Special for a limited time only. Save up to $1,000 with Spring Hill Heating and Cooling. Get a York unit that lasts with a 10-year parts and labor warranty with up to 60 months no-interest financing on all York units. Restrictions do apply. Schedule now at springhillac.com. Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, a York certified comfort expert company.
Hey, what's going on? Chase McCabe here to tell you about Dr. Kelly Rice Family Cosmetic and Dental Sleep Medicine. Dr. Rice, is it true that according to the American Dental Association, roughly 80% of people in the U.S. have some form of gum disease?
That's right, but our non-surgical periodontal therapy is painless and effective in keeping your mouth healthy. And the mouth is the window to the health of the rest of the body.
I know you have some different things that you offer. What else can you tell us?
Well, first, who doesn't want whiter teeth? Our new Zoom LED whitening system is less sensitive, and you get more than 5 shades of whitening. And we just upgraded both our lasers to kill bacteria during your cleaning.
What about taking care of cold sores some people may have, which can become painful? Can lasers help with that too?
Yes, the gentle laser setting will kill the virus in your cold sores all naturally while reducing the healing time by half. And our special soft tissue wand uses warm, light laser therapy to give instant relief to severe TMJ pain. Our approach to holistic dentistry is unique.
Give Dr. Kelly Rice Family Cosmetic and Dental Sleep Medicine a call today at 615-373-4488 or visit kellyerice.com. You'll certainly be glad you did.
Gary Ashton here. Most people in Nashville know me as the don't sell without the intel and the guaranteed offer guy. But despite my accent, I'm also 100% guaranteed Nashville. I'm a guaranteed musician, a guaranteed dog lover, and you're also guaranteed to see me at every Titans and Preds game. Guaranteed offer means the Gary Ashton team with RE/MAX Advantage will sell your house for top dollar with no cleaning, staging, showings, or open houses, and give you up to 90 days to close. So there's plenty of time to find your next home. Guaranteed Nashville means my team lives here and loves it here. We've served Nashville for over 20 years, and we're passionate about helping the people we call neighbors and friends, which is why we've had a long-standing tradition of donating to the Vanderbilt Children's Hospital. If you're thinking about a guaranteed offer, get the only one that's guaranteed Nashville. Request a no-obligation offer by calling 615-301-1650 or go to GaryAshton.com today. Remember, Gary Ashton, guaranteed Nashville.
In growing companies, there are 2 kinds of CFOs. The one overwhelmed with manual processes, errors, and lack of control of the numbers, and the one who uses NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud financial system. With visibility and control of financials, inventory, HR, planning, and budgeting, NetSuite is everything you need to grow, all in one place. The CFOs that get it. The CFOs that don't. Head to netsuite.com/KJM for a special one-of-a-kind financing offer. netsuite.com/KJM.
Play ball! Mr. White hit high in the air, deep left field, on the track, at the wall, it's gone! The Nashville Sounds are on the road as they take on the Gwinnett Stripers. Swing and a strike 3, and the Sounds win! Coverage begins at 5:50 on your home for the Sounds. ESPN 94.9 and the Game Nashville app.
What's up, Nashville? This is Stephen A. Smith. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5, The Game.
Preds fans, join us for Smashville Live tomorrow night on 102.5 The Game. Smashville Live airs on Wednesdays during the Preds season from 6 to 7 p.m., featuring Preds players, former players, and other special guests. You can watch the show via 102.5 The Game's Twitch, Facebook page, YouTube, and Twitter. So be sure to join us for Smashville Live, brought to you by New Amsterdam Vodka, Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, and Red Spirits and Wine in Bellevue. Your fearless leader, Max Hers, on Smashville Live as well. So make sure you check that out. Joe's laughing about something. Is it something that we need to talk about or no?
Just on the question of the NBA poll, I got it. Dale Doyle on Twitter, who is, I mean, he's wearing a Vols shirt and he is cut up, man. Look at this dude. Look at this dude.
Oh, yeah.
Dale Doyle. You know Dale Doyle?
I don't know him.
Oh, okay. You're like, oh, yeah, Dale. Yeah.
You just said he was cut. I said, oh, yeah.
He puts up 250 regularly. His comment is, haven't watched the NBA since Dr. J retired. No interest.
Jeez, all right.
All right, Boomer. Little bit less curls, more NBA, Dale. Come on.
Wow.
I'm not going to, argue with the guy looking like that.
Dale's going to come up here and throw something at you. Got a text that says, enjoy hearing about the Grizzlies and hope they can go all the way. I listen every day and enjoy your show, as well as the next show very much. Look forward to the Predators games with the pre- and post-game shows as well. Thank you. We appreciate it.
That's a lot of nice in that text.
There's a lot of nice going on there.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Caleb texting in. This is like the fourth different Caleb. Says, the other Calebs seem to be getting their word in, so I'll just say Roman Josi is by far the best athlete in Tennessee. He's even been mentioned as a Hart candidate. That won't happen, but to have anyone say that about a defenseman is crazy. The Grizzlies are the closest team to winning a championship. The Preds are probably going to miss the playoffs, and the Titans pick too many injured players to make deep runs. This is coming from Caleb. On the
Damn,
text line.
Caleb, get it all in there, buddy. Is there not a character limit on these? Can we institute one?
I don't know.
I'm just kidding, Caleb. Whichever Caleb you are.
You text as many times as you want to, buddy.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Ben texting in. So I also wanted to back up Joe's claim of sum of parts. The Grizzlies have a great winning record without Ja. I think it's like 13-3, and I know the playoffs are a different story. I think it's like 20-4.
Yeah, which gets great Twitter discourse going too.
Yeah.
Stay hurt, Ja.
Yeah, that'll work out well. Now, I did talk about this with Teresa Walker the other night, and she was sitting next to me at the Preds game. And she was like, yeah, they're 20-4 without him, but, go look at the schedule. They've played, four good teams during that stretch.
It timed out pretty well for them in terms of when he missed time. So the Josi thing is a good point on the Hart because, seriously, so Eric Duhatschek, one of my cohorts at The Athletic, a legend of hockey writing, told me last week that, he's seriously – I don't know if I should be outing him. I don't know. Are we keeping this anonymous? Whatever. No one in Canada's listening to this. That he's seriously thinking about Josi when it comes to the Hart.
Yeah.
And, of course, I think the Norris is a real strong bet. But let's remember that Ja Morant at one point this year was talked about as MVP. And also Derrick Henry has multiple times been, I think, at one – look, I think he should have been closer than he was in 2020, frankly. So all of them are in the vicinity of that. I don't think Yosi's going to be any closer to actually winning the Hart than those guys were. Will he? I don't think so.
I don't think so, but I think he'll get some votes. Well, I say that.
If they make the playoffs.
They're going to have to make the playoffs. And, look, I still think, if he goes through the next 10 games and has 5 points, probably not going to do it. He's probably going to have to get close to 100 to get those.
Yeah.
I don't know if he has to get 100 on the dot, but he's going to have to get close.
So there's no statistical comparison in terms of Morant. I mean, it's he's got great stats, but there's nothing there. But Derrick Henry, 2,000 yards. Roman Josi, 100 points as a defenseman. Which is more impressive?
It's close because both have only been done, a few times in each of their league's history. I'll probably go slight edge to Derrick Henry. I don't know though.
It's close.
It's pretty close.
I mean, it's almost identical in terms of, well, it's been done more, but in terms of list of people who have done it, it's about the same. Very close. It's a handful of people.
Well, and the NHL part of it hadn't been done in 30 years.
Right. So
I don't know. I may be leaning Josi now. It's pretty close. I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah. That's a really good. It's tough on those three guys.
So which team is the closest? Which pro sports team in Tennessee is the closest to winning a title in your mind? You got the Grizzlies. They made some noise this year in the Western Conference. They're the 2 seed. Obviously, the Titans were just the 1 seed in the AFC. I know that feels like a lifetime ago, but they were the 1 seed, and they have been very good the last 3 years. And the Predators trying to get in the playoffs. I think right now I'd put the Predators at 3 pretty clearly. That's me.
So Nashville SC is counting in this discussion.
Yeah.
I mean, Nashville SC.
They might be 3.
Is really good.
Yeah.
But I could also look at the Grizzlies and the Preds and say, the Grizzlies are certainly better relative to their conference and their league, and they've had a much better year. But let's go back to what we were talking about earlier about the tournament at hand. Like, honestly, Preds get in. I think it's a lot closer than some people might think in terms of just this year. Who has a better chance to win it? I wouldn't pick the Preds. I wouldn't pick either of them to win it. I don't think either will. I think it actually could end up being like a closer finish for both of them. And then the Titans, I mean, if they had a quarterback who could complete a pass, then I would pick them. But, their quarterback who should be cut any day now. No, but in all seriousness, they're still probably closer than you think.
Yeah.
I mean, it just depends how you will look. You can look at the whole AFC and say, this quarterback. Oh, my gosh, this quarterback. But what if Austin Hooper is really good? What if Robert Woods is really good? What if they do shore up the offensive line and they have a great draft and the defense is what we think it will be and Caleb Farley is healthy and gives them that third corner they can count on? It's a lot of ifs. It's kind of like Calkins was talking about the Grizzlies. They need this to happen, and they all happen.
Right.
But none of those things I just mentioned with the Titans are all that outlandish.
No.
So I don't really have an answer for it. I'm just talking.
Mark from Clarksville on the text line says, John Morant, the best athlete in Tennessee. The Grizzlies are the closest to winning a title. Titans at number 2, Nashville SC, and then the Preds 4th on that list.
I think ultimately I would have to put the Grizzlies first, too. But it is close.
Got a text that says Grizzlies, and it's not close. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I think it is close because, look, we'll see what happens, and I don't know if Steph Curry's even playing in Game 1. But I just watched Klay Thompson go off for, 41 the other day?
Yep.
Draymond is healthy and is back to, as good a defensive player as there is in the league.
Steph's going to be back in there.
Kuminga and Poole. And, they are going to have they did great against the Warriors in the regular season, no doubt. And I think they match up with them. They can beat them. But that is going to be an absolute battle if it happens. And, look, Denver could beat Golden State, too, by the way. And like Calkins said, the Clippers could come in here, all of a sudden Paul George, they could come in here and ruin this whole thing. It is close. You can't say it's not close. I disagree strongly that it's not close because the other tournament that this team in Nashville's in is very different and can absolutely go sideways on you. And if you got a goalie playing his best and this goalie playing his best, that can be something. And the Titans are still closer than anybody wants to acknowledge just because everybody hates their quarterback now.
Well, Chris on the text line says Nashville SC was a poor penalty kick performance from likely the conference finals last season as well. And there is that. No, they're in the West this year, so it's different. It's more challenging, but, I mean, they've had a couple big wins in a row.
The MLS playoffs, we've learned these last couple of years, at least to me, producing those games when they were on 94-9, the playoffs are really short.
Yeah.
You only have to win 3 games to get to the final if you finish in the top 7
of your conference. It's like a marathon season.
It's the total opposite of soccer in every other league and country in the world. It's very like American playoff style, and you can get to the finals pretty quickly, and now you can also host the finals. It used to be neutral.
Yep. But the problem is, and that's my hesitation with them, is the problem is just like they made that run in their first year, the format also lends itself to I think they're going to be one of the best teams in the league this year. Yep. But it's NCAA tournament-ish.
Ben on the text line says the Predators are the closest. It's not the year for any of them. I don't trust the Grizzlies' management and ownership, and I don't trust Tannehill, but the Preds will get there the quickest in the coming years. This is Ben on the text line.
Okay.
So we've gone all over the map. There are people that think that Nashville SC is the closest, Preds are the closest, Titans are the closest, and the Grizzlies. That's why we do these questions.
Good.
Yeah.
That's great. We have no answers, no conclusions.
If I'm picking one, I'm going Memphis.
I think I am too.
It's close, but I'm going Memphis.
Yeah, I think
if the AFC wasn't crazy this offseason, I'd probably go Titans. It's less to me about the commentary on the Titans and more about what other teams in the AFC have done, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does make sense. It does make sense. And it's just with the Titans, I think not beyond Tannehill, it's just like you feel like you had the ultimate path and opportunity that you blew. Like if the Grizzlies, like the Warriors get upset or something, and the Grizzlies or the Suns get upset, that would be like the same thing.
Yeah.
And you have everything at home. You have home court, like you can't blow it. The Titans just did that, so it's harder to pick them.
Coming up next, it is time for Preds Pick to Click, brought to you by New Amsterdam Vodka. Be the first caller at 615-737-1025, 615-737-1025. If you guess a goal scorer for the Predators tonight, you win a pair of tickets to a future Nashville Predators home game. We'll do that next. This is Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 1025 The Game.
From the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center.
I'm Fox 17 News Code Red meteorologist Dan Guthrie. Drying out for the rest of the day. Partly to mostly cloudy skies out there and a high temperature of 78 degrees. Our next round of storms arrives overnight.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
The 2022 Major League Soccer season is officially here, and Nashville SC's new home, Geodis Park, is nearly complete. Don't miss Nashville.
Genesis Diamond's spectacular spring extravaganza is coming April 22nd through 24th. 3 incredible days of store-wide savings. Up to 35% off engagement rings, earrings, bracelets, wedding bands, plus special financing. Even Genesis GIA certified diamonds are marked down. Plus, top jewelry designers are flying in with all new amazing designs. If you're popping the question soon or just looking for some new sparkle, you can't miss this annual event. Save up to $10,000 on some items. It's April 22nd through 24th and only at Genesis Diamonds, Green Hills and Cool Springs. See store for details.
Houston Clinic Orthopedics wants to thank their patients for voting them the #1 orthopedic practice in the Nashville Scene Poll for 3 years in a row. Their physicians specialize in spine, joint replacement, knee, hip, upper extremity, and other orthopedic conditions. At Houston Clinic Orthopedics, they adhere to all CDC guidelines for the patient's and staff safety. To experience world-class orthopedic care and see a list of all physicians, visit their website at tn.houston.com and book your appointment online today.
Smokeville Smoke Shop in Hendersonville wants to invite you, your friends, and family to their huge 420 blowout event. Live music, on-site food and dessert trucks, discounts store-wide, and a free dab bar. Smokeville Smoke Shop's 420 event will be held at their flagship store located at 699 West Main Street in Hendersonville on Wednesday, April 20th. Visit them on Instagram at Smokeville Smoke Shop for more event details and to take advantage of additional special offers. Smokeville Smoke Shop for all your smoking needs.
Hey, Robby Stanley here, and I'm here to tell you you can go yard all summer long with $5 Dinger Tuesdays on FanDuel Sportsbook. This season, all customers will get $5 for every home run hit by both teams when you place a $25 to hit a home run wager on Tuesdays on MLB games. And the best part about Dinger Tuesdays is even if your bet loses, FanDuel will pay you $5 for every single home run. So I think the Dodgers, someone to keep an eye on this year. Freddie Freeman, maybe he starts off this season pretty good from the power side of things, but you take it any way you want to pick it. What are you waiting on? Just pick your home run hitter, turn big swings into big wins. There's no better place to bet America's pastime than on America's #1 sportsbook. Head on over to FanDuel account or download the FanDuel Sportsbook app and sign up using promo code ROB. Once again, that promo code is ROB. You must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. Bonus issued is not withdrawable site credit that expires in 7 days. Max bonus of $25. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Got a gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789.
You're the one who protects the flock, and that requires an eye for detail. Because when safety and well-being are on the line, it's the details that can save lives. Even when no one else is watching, you see everything. Grainger gets you, and we're here. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Robby and Rexrode is on ESPN 1025 The Game.
Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 1025 The Game. Brought to you by Little Guys Movers. Here's your chance to be your own boss. Join their team of 30-plus years of profits and good times. Visit littleguysfranchise.com. It is that time of the day here on Robby and Rexrode. Time for Preds Pick to Click. Brought to you by New Amsterdam Vodka. The Preds in action against the San Jose Sharks tonight. Puck drop 7 o'clock, pregame 6 o'clock here on ESPN 1025 The Game. And the standings in the competition as such. The listeners back in the lead with 18 correct answers with Matt Duchene's correct guess last week against Ottawa. Joe Rexrode in second with 17 correct. Robby Stanley in third with 15. Michelle with 12 correct answers. Max Hers will be picking for Michelle today in the competition.
So if he gets it right, we're letting Michelle have the point.
Yeah. Or should we just put Max at 1? Who knows?
What would you prefer, Max? Would you like to try to get a late start here and just make a huge, incredible run late?
I would love to help Michelle.
Okay.
Get out of last place. Do you say she's
I
in
guess
last?
if she was like in first or second, it was like a one. Like I would never normally allow this.
I think I
make an exception.
I think I picked something for her the last time I was on with you guys too.
Might have.
Maybe in January.
Did you get it right?
Probably not.
Yeah, we're fine then.
Okay, we're good. With that in mind, let's go to our 102.5 The Game phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, and welcome in Kenny from Spring Hill. Kenny, thanks for calling into Robby and Rexrode.
Thanks for having me.
So, Kenny, who is your pick to click tonight for the Nashville Predators?
I got to go with Matt Duchene. He's on a roll.
He is on a roll. Kenny, we appreciate you calling in. I don't know what was going on with Kenny there.
Kenny? Is Kenny a robot? An actual robot? Death robot?
I don't know.
There was some sort of
feedback,
cyber activity going on in Spring Hill, I guess.
I don't know what happened.
Is that the Russian bots?
Maybe it was. I was telling you guys earlier during a break about a hill they're getting rid of down in Thompson Station. So he's from Spring Hill. Maybe he crossed over town lines.
Could be. Kenny and Spring Hill going with Matt Duchene tonight. Matt Duchene on a heater right now for the Nashville Predators. Max, you're up first today in the competition. Matt Duchene is off the board. Your pick to click tonight for the Nashville Predators.
This is such an honor. I've never gone first in this before. I've also never picked.
It's a big day.
What would Michelle want? Who does Michelle usually pick?
She's picked a lot of Johansson.
A lot of Johansson.
To very little success.
Okay.
Although
he's had a good
22
year.
goals this year. But yes.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm saying for her, though.
Yes.
On her particular nights of picking.
This is just goals, right?
Correct.
Not points?
Correct.
All right. I'm going to pick the man.
Max never listens to our show.
Who had 2 goals the last time the Preds played the Sharks. His first ever multi-goal game. Going with my boy Matt Luff.
Yes.
For Michelle.
Come on.
Oh, my God.
Give me the Luff man.
Matt Luff. I love it.
Don't tell her that you did this.
He did score twice last time.
He did. Yeah, when they beat them 19-0. Great.
Matt Luff for the selection, which Joe Rexrode, as I'm next in the competition, really leaves it open for me.
This is so rigged.
Sorry,
Philip Forsberg.
Sorry if I took your pick, Robbie.
Philip Forsberg, the selection. I do have in plans to get T-shirts made of "Get the Puck to Matt Luff." That's my my T-shirt idea. I'll go with Philip Forsberg, Joe Rexrode. Your selection: Duchene, Luff, and Forsberg off the board.
So this is a conspiracy, you two against me and Michelle. Is that what's going on?
It's Max
like, oh yeah, I'll take one
this
for the
is not
team
a
and pick
conspiracy.
Matt Luff.
He had a point every 3.5 minutes of ice time the last time we played this team.
Max is fully believing what he's picking here. Definitely the first time Matt Luff has ever been selected in Preds Pick to Click, but I'm all for it. Duchene, Luff, and Forsberg off the board, Rexrode.
All right.
Your pick.
I'm going to go Tomasino.
Wow. Philip Tomasino.
A little bit off the board, but I just have a feeling. I've got a Tomasino feeling.
Okay.
tonight.
So Tomasino, the selection. So no Yossi, no Granlund, no Johansson.
I know.
All off the board. Look,
Yeah,
sometimes that works out. No Trennan. He's been a sneaky good one this year.
No Jeannot.
No Jeannot. I like it.
Actually, there's a lot of names you just said that can I switch? No.
This is the most.
I'll stick with Tomasino.
This might be the best Preds Pick to Click we've ever done. Matt Duchene.
Yeah, because someone cheated for you.
Matt Luff, Philip Forsberg, and Philip Tomasino.
Well, let's not forget how many times we had Kelly Yarncroke represented.
That is true.
Yeah, Rex Croak last year. And
Jadavion
by the way,
Rexcroke.
how many times it paid off last year too?
Yes.
For the record, the good old days.
That's right. Big one for the Preds tonight. The standings. I mean, you've got Dallas tonight taking on Tampa Bay at like midnight. It's at 8:30, I think, on ESPN. So good news is, if you're a Predators fan, that game probably still be on when you get home. You can watch the end of it at that point. But Dallas taking on the 2-time defending Cup champions.
ESPN trying to find the Hawaii
get in there.
market with their
Vegas taking
NHL
on
game.
Vancouver tonight. Vancouver just beat them last week on the road, so now Vegas going on the road this time, and they'll have to take on Vancouver that way. So maybe an opportunity tonight, if you can take care of business against San Jose, maybe create a little bit of breathing room if you're the Predators at this point. But like if you're John Hynes right now, and I know he's not, if you're anybody on this team, you can't really be worried about that. You just win the games that are in front of you. I said it yesterday. I'm sticking with it. I think they need to win all 3 of these this week to feel pretty good. That's just me. And I know you've got St. Louis coming up this weekend and Calgary next Tuesday.
So you don't count St. Louis as being this week?
Sunday technically is the beginning of a new week.
Yeah, I've never really subscribed to that.
It is, though.
It's the end of the week.
But technically, it's the beginning.
Joe's right.
Thank you, Max.
It's Max's.
You know what I mean? I mean, it's the weekend.
I hear you. I'm just saying, I've been taught my whole life Sunday's the beginning of the week.
All right.
That's what they say in school.
Well, I say 3 of 4 if we're counting that, okay?
Okay.
6 points. 6 points in the next 4 games.
I subscribe to that.
Yeah. Okay. We can agree on that.
Oh, I thought you were going somewhere else.
I got nothing else to say. I don't know.
Like, I know I had somebody text me yesterday, be like, you think that, like, Edmonton is just like they're definitely going to win that game? I don't think they're definitely going to win that game. I think they need to win that game. Like, Edmonton is really good. They've been playing much better as of late. You got McDavid and Draisaitl, obviously, and I think it's been since – have they been here yet this year? I don't even know. Has Edmonton been here yet? I don't remember. I don't think so.
They have to have.
No, I think they played in Edmonton twice. I think it's the first time they've been here this year.
It's only 3 games against every team in the Pacific now.
Yep, so I think they've been there twice.
Okay. And this is the one here. Okay.
So the last time we saw Edmonton in this building, I think they hung up 8 goals. That was, before COVID, so that was a long time ago. But we know that those guys, especially like when McDavid and Draisaitl get rolling, sometimes there's not much you can do about it. So certainly that's going to be a tough game on Thursday, but I think if you're the Predators, you need to win. You've got a 5-game homestand. If you don't win at least 3, that's pretty disappointing to me, regardless of what the competition looks like.
Absolutely. No, you've got to do that. You've got to do that. So Matthew Eden just put up, this is a pretty handy, records against Western Conference for the Preds. Yeah, 0-2 against the Oilers, 0-2 against the Golden Knights, 1-2 against the Blues, but you're 3-1 against the Stars, 3-0 against the Wild. By the way, 2-1 against the Avs, in case that becomes a playoff preview. For whatever that's worth.
Have they not beaten the Golden Knights this year? I think you have to play them 3 times, don't you? So they can't be 0-2 because they don't play them again.
Why can't we remember anything about this season?
Well, there's 82 games. They beat the Golden Knights on January 4th.
Dang it, Matthew. I really liked your graphic, and it's inaccurate. I'm going to tweet at him. Angry tweet at you, Matthew.
Yeah. Let's say there's 3 times. Now, there is a big one on the last week of the season. There's a Dallas versus Vegas game, and that one could be pretty big. You're hoping if you're the Predators, you can create some separation by then, but, I mean, that game could be pretty important coming down the stretch.
That could be big. DJ Burnside, Matt Luff goal loading.
Yes.
Please continue to wait. Like a nice AOL.com message for you. Hey, if you get Luff right, like Chase just texted us, if he scores, Max gets, I don't know, but he gets something.
Most importantly, Michelle will get a point.
Yeah, Michelle should buy you lunch if you get it.
I agree. This has been Preds Pick to Click, brought to you by New Amsterdam Vodka. Preds taking on the San Jose Sharks. I forgot who they're playing tonight for a minute. Taking on the San Jose Sharks tonight at Bridgestone
They're
Arena.
barely an NHL team.
We'll
It's
have
okay.
Chris Mason come up at 9:30 here on the program. Coming up next, we'll be joined by Charles Robinson from Yahoo Sports. We'll get his thoughts on all things NFL. You're listening to Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
The start of a homestand. This is the Commodore Report. I'm Kevin Ingram. Vanderbilt baseball begins a 5-game stretch at Hawkins Field tonight against Western Kentucky. The Vandy boys trying to make it 28 straight midweek wins at home. Freshman left-hander Devin Butrell has been terrific in his midweek work with a record of 6-0. There will be a 6 o'clock first pitch. Spring football winds down for Clark Lee's second Vandy team out there early on Monday with 2 more practices coming up before the spring game on Saturday. That'll be at 1 o'clock at the stadium. Coverage on the Vanderbilt Sports Network. Last stop before the SEC Championships for Vanderbilt men's golf. Playing down in Mississippi at the Mossy Oak Collegiate this week. Coming off a record-setting win at the Mason Rudolph last week, Coach Scott Limbaugh says it's good to have another chance to tee it up before the postseason.
You know, I think as a coach, sometimes you got to learn not to overdo it and don't overcoach and don't overworry. And so we've just been talking about the little things leading up into championship season, and we've got one. I think it's a great thing for us, to be honest, that we're going to get to keep playing.
Commodores held a 4-stroke lead with few holes to play in the second round. Play was stopped on Monday evening. And freshman Gordon Sargent had moved into first at 9 under par. They'll finish up today. A trio of Vanderbilt lacrosse players took weekly honors from the American Conference, including Taylor Sampone, named the Defensive Player of the Week. Gabby Fournier and Bree Gross were also named to the weekly honor roll in that conference. And if you missed last night's edition of Commodore Hour, be sure to download it at the Anchor Podcast page on Apple and Spotify. That is the Commodore Report on 102.5 The Game and ESPN 94.9.
Spring has sprung, which means it's time to renew your home with Social Furniture. It's their Spring Fling sale, where all furniture is up to 50% off. That's right, up to 50% off on top name brands such as Serta, Sealy, Simmons, Caracol, Bernhardt, and Woodhouse. At Social Furniture, you'll find new bedroom furniture, mattresses, and sofas, all up to 50% off. Spring into Social Furniture today on Charlotte Avenue in West Nashville. Shop local, shop social. Social Furniture is a proud supporter of your Nashville Predators.
This segment of ESPN 102.5 The Game is brought to you by Train Heating and Cooling Systems. Tested, retested, engineered, and re-engineered to keep up with you. We run together. Visit traininfo.com to find your local independent train dealer. Traininfo.com. It's hard to stop a train.
Hey, Robby Stanley here, and I'm here to tell you you can go yard all summer long with $5 Dinger Tuesdays on FanDuel Sportsbook. This season, all customers will get $5 for every home run hit by both teams when you place a $25 to hit a home run wager on Tuesdays on MLB games. And the best part about Dinger Tuesdays is even if your bet loses, FanDuel will pay you $5 for every single home run. So I think the Dodgers are someone to keep an eye on this year. Freddie Freeman, maybe he starts off this season pretty good from the power side of things, but you take it any way you want to pick it. What are you waiting on? Just pick your home run hitter, turn big swings into big wins. There's no better place to bet America's pastime than on America's #1 sportsbook. Head on over to FanDuel account or download the FanDuel Sportsbook app and sign up using promo code ROB. Once again, that promo code is ROB. You must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. Bonus issued is not withdrawable site credit that expires in 7 days. Max bonus of $25. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Got a gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789.
From the Hillside Medical Game Studios, WPRT-FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne, broadcasting 97.5 Murfreesboro, 106.3 Williamson County,
ESPN
102.5 The Game, and the Game Nashville app.
a Cromwell Media Station.
It's Robby and Rexrode with Robby Stanley and Joe Rexrode on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Welcome back in. Final hour of Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game. Brought to you by Little Guys Movers. Here's your chance to be your own boss. Join their team of 30-plus years of profits and good times. Visit littleguysfranchise.com. Robby Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Max Hers here with you on this Tuesday morning in Nashville, Tennessee. We go to our 102.5 The Game phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, and welcome in our friend Charles Robinson from Yahoo Sports. Charles, what's going on? How are we doing?
I'm doing well, fellas. How you guys doing this morning?
Great. Appreciate you taking time to be with us. Charles, I want to get your thoughts on the Ray Horton situation, adding to Brian Flores' lawsuit against the National Football League, and more specifically, the comments that have come out from Mike Mularkey that somehow we all missed back in 2020, at least here locally. We all missed these comments in 2020 on a Steelers Realm podcast. Basically, that he knew he had the job heading into the interview. What do you make of this whole situation? And specifically, what do you think the comments made by Mularkey tells you and says about this process?
Well, first and foremost, I was stunned that we all missed it. Like I when I listen to the audio, I'm just like, how on earth did this stay buried for, more than a year? And probably the most damning allegations I've ever heard about the Rooney Rule. When you have a former head coach coming out and saying that, ownership told me I had the job. The GM, the sitting current GM, didn't know why I was going through the interview process with him. And, the contrition, and it sounded about as genuine as it could. It sounded, and it was another thing that struck me about it was such an open-ended question. They just asked him about any career regrets. And then he dives into this thing that clearly, from their response, it sounded like they didn't expect him to bring that to the table. But, when he expressed the contrition about knowing people in the process who are going through these interviews and feeling like they had no shot at the job and then calling it a fake interview process, I mean, that's, for the NFL, it's a bit of a nightmare. I think for the organization, it's a bit of a nightmare, which obviously the organization's saying it's not true. I don't, it's a difficult, allegation to prove. But I think it does clearly overlap with the experiences that some of these folks are bringing to the table. Brian Flores, obviously Ray Horton, Steve Wilkes talks a little bit about, he joins the suit and he's talking about how he felt like his 1 year in Arizona, he wasn't given a fair shake there. And, I think what it underscores is the Rooney Rule itself. There's flaws there, and, it clearly was part of a problem instead of, the resolution that it hoped to provide. And, I think the NFL, what we've seen in the last couple of seasons is what we're going to continue to see. It's a pretty tangled mess. And I do think that this lawsuit, though, is provoking the league to push harder, to take steps to try and remedy, what it clearly sees as a problem that the data obviously supports. That, there's some hiring issues inside the NFL, some nepotism issues. There's a lot of different, things that are tied to this that are starting to come up. And just from being at the last owners meetings, you can tell the league is motivated to attack this thing, either out of fear of that lawsuit or just out of sheer embarrassment.
So if you, I know you love these questions, I'm going to put you in charge, Charles. Charles in charge.
Fun.
Of the Rooney Rule, you can get rid of it, strengthen it any way you want, alter it any way you want. I think we could all agree, like, there's no clear answer to get absolutely this results in the desired outcome. But what would you do?
You're putting me in charge of a decision that they can't even solve, and they're paid millions of dollars. There's people on the payroll making millions of dollars, trying to figure out how to resolve this issue. I don't think it's, so far a lot of what's being done is very bottom up. It's create a larger pipeline, create a pipeline on offense, which is where a lot of NFL hires are coming from. But again, I don't see it being a top-down, at what point does the league start to look at this from a top-down aspect, ownership in the NFL? Because ownership is the fraternity that is NFL ownership has not changed significantly over time. When you talk about life experience, when you talk about race, when you talk about politics it's a very similar sort of group of people, and it has remained very similar throughout the years. And from a wealth standpoint, it's remained very similar. And now the NFL is trying to figure out, particularly with the Denver Broncos going up for sale, is there an opportunity here to change some of the dynamics in a room where, heavy-hitting decisions are made? Well, if the Broncos are going up for sale, and already there's rumors that the Walton family, might be taking a crack at this, okay? That's so typical. I mean, that's the NFL. They're going to go out there and they're going to end up courting, the biggest billionaires and the people that already kind of represent that room. I don't know. It's not an easy thing to resolve, and that's why I think it's going to be a struggle, and it's going to take a lot of years, and it's going to take maybe some things happening organically that we don't understand. I'll give you an example. Like when I started covering the league 20 years ago, there was still a lot of conversations about black quarterbacks. There's still, I remember, talking to executives, and there was still this idea that, like, hey, this may never really change, even though there's a push for it to change. And what people didn't foresee is what changed on the collegiate level, and the NFL's, free feeder system, its free minor leagues, sort of forced the league to change its perception of black quarterbacks because they were being groomed at a lower level and becoming great players, and the NFL couldn't ignore that. That changed organically below the NFL level. It forced the NFL to change, over a longer timeline. Black executives in the NFL, it's another good example, particularly from the general manager standpoint. I think analytics opened up slots for a number of guys that hold those positions now. I think that you saw more road scouts instead of, for a number of years in personnel departments, a lot of like former players would end up like on the pro personnel side. And, I guess you can kind of argue or try to figure out why that dynamic occurred. But, some, as they started to end up as road scouts or doing more scouting work, I think it opened up their resume and their ability to ascend into general manager positions as well. So it's I wonder if there are some organic things here that could change and help this situation while the NFL is trying. For years and years and years now, and it's some years it seems a lot worse, and like it's getting worse, and that's how it felt this year. Some years it feels like it's getting better, but over a long enough timeline, not enough has changed.
Charles Robinson from Yahoo Sports on the line with us, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. And Charles, obviously just a really tragic situation with Dwayne Haskins over the weekend, losing his life at age 24. And we were talking about this yesterday on the show. Like, I was just kind of blown away from the reaction to his death. Anywhere from the Schefter tweet to just the stupidity of the Gil Brandt stuff as well.
Yeah.
It just kind of felt like all day long it was really dehumanizing the event that took place. What was kind of your thoughts on the reaction to Dwayne Haskins and his death at the age of 24?
Yeah, I mean, some of the unfortunate stuff that gets said, we've all worked in this arena long enough to know that sports often is very reductive, and the first way a lot of people measure, anyone in the NFL is based on success or failure. And unfortunately, we saw examples where that was something immediately attached to a tragedy. Someone's football career should not become fodder for framing, a death that is awful. That's terrible. I mean, a guy, who's on the doorstep of turning 25 years old. You can say whatever you want about, Dwayne Haskins' career, but, he's a first-round pick in the NFL. And he changed a lot at Ohio State in terms of the quarterback position. When you look at, the level of quarterbacks that they're getting at Ohio State. I mean, he had a pretty big imprint on football in a short period of time. And anything that happened, on the NFL level, it had nothing to do with, the death, what happened. And, it sucked to see that. It really did. And thankfully, as time's gone on a little bit, we've seen a lot of people come out who knew him as a person and have added a lot to that picture that I think people lacked before. And I'll be honest with you, I've fallen into this trap in the past of using the word bust, which I'm trying to not use. I'm trying to get away from that because it's such a catch-all kind of toxic word for guys. And it often sort of bleeds into what we think about them or what fans think about them as a person. And part of what changed that for me, or at least the effort to try and change it, years ago I met Ryan Leaf at a Super Bowl. And I was completely floored by the strides he'd made as a person, his willingness to talk about being flawed, all these different things. And I walked away from it feeling really guilty because I'm man, for years I kind of hammered this guy about football, hammered him about other things that went on in his personal life, and, never thought about the reality that he could grow. And, I think that's part of the Haskins story that, we really don't know how much he had grown since he had gone to Pittsburgh. All we know is, what the Steelers are saying publicly now. Another thing, too, about his death, let's be clear here. We have no clue what happened, okay? Even trying to understand what happened that day, there's such a lack of information out there. So all we know is it's a young guy that died, and, it's devastating for his family and his friends, and anyone who reaches that pinnacle of playing in the NFL at the quarterback position, being a first-round pick, to have that end at such a young age. I can't even, I'm not a parent. I can't even imagine how hard it is to lose a child, but let alone you lose a child that worked so hard to, get to that, level of a very prestigious and prominent place in our culture.
Well, think back to like when we were on a college beat together too. I think sometimes about like, you know, what things said and written over the years. You're like, gosh, you know, you kind of
I mean, I think back to, you know, earlier, you know, and it was funny. I was talking to a couple other guys on a show yesterday and about like my 20s and how many cringeworthy things I probably wrote or said, or, you know, like I said, being really reductive about criticism. And, you know, you get older and you start to realize that these are human beings, and, you know, mental health becomes such a big thing now in sports, and it wasn't something that even 20 years ago a lot of people really wanted to talk about. And
ever.
Ever. And it really just changed. I think a lot of has changed in the landscape where there's still a lot of effort there to look at, you know, players as humans the same way we look at them as players. But I do think that the sort of fallout after Haskins shows that at least the criticism's there to stand up and go, hey, this isn't right. Okay. like let's not do this. Let's not fall into this. And I think that's a good conversation to have, you know, on the heels of this.
Charles Robinson from Yahoo Sports, our guest here on Robby and Rexrode, joins us every Tuesday morning at 9 o'clock. Charles, great stuff as always. Appreciate you taking time to be with us.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys. Have a good day.
You as well. Charles Robinson, our guest here on Robby and Rexrode. We'll take your thoughts on our text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025, 615-737-1025. You're listening to Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 1025 The Game.
Do you have that one person or thing that just makes you mad? Join us every Friday at noon on the DDC for You Just Made the List. Fueled by Parman Energy. Visit ParmanEnergy.com, your one-stop petroleum solution, and try Star Movie on the DDC on ESPN 1025 The Game.
You just made the list!
Hey guys, it's the new year. Are you still struggling with erectile dysfunction? I've yet to meet anyone that enjoys timing those intimate moments around a pill. Well, now you don't have to. The advanced wave technology at Hillside Medical has been shown by Cambridge University and the Cleveland Clinic to restore and even regrow blood vessels. It can improve circulation and eliminate erectile dysfunction. No pills and no side effects. If you're ready to put a stop to your ED, call us in the next 2 minutes and you'll receive a consultation, assessment, and blood flow ultrasound free, plus a special gift that produces immediate results in the bedroom. You're going to love that. Trust me. This is a $600 value, free to callers now. 615-576-5000. That's 615-576-5000. Guys, get rid of your ED and get that spark back. Call Hillside Medical now to qualify. 615-576-5000.
Pro Golf is back in Middle Tennessee. Mark your calendars for the Simmons Bank Open, May 5th through 8th. You can see the next wave of PGA Tour stars. Be sure to visit the Sand Trap at the 14th hole and check out great local food trucks, including Hattie B's, Hogwood Barbecue, Dream Burger, Padrino Pops, cocktails from Jack Daniels, and try the Sand Trap Cream Ale from New Heights Brewing Company. Purchase your tickets now at SimmonsBankOpen.com.
When it's more than just your lawn, it deserves the Kubota Z400. Get a head-turning offer on class-leading speed, agility, simple deck height adjustments, and a quality cut. When you need comfort and performance, then you need the professional-grade Kubota Z400. Right now, get the Kubota Z400 mower for 0 down, 0% APR for 36 months. Now through June 30th. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
2 locations to serve you, Columbia Kubota or Franklin Kubota. Visit us online at ColumbiaKubota.com or FranklinKubota.com.
Spring into savings at Electronic Express. Get up to 40% off the latest 4K TVs from Samsung, LG, Sony, Hisense, TCL, and more. That's not all. Get huge savings in every department like computers and gaming, smart home, housewares, mattresses, and more. Plus, save up to 40% on all appliances with up to 36 months free financing. Shop in-store or online with free express delivery on most items. Shop locally owned and family operated at Electronic Express. We make it happen.
Tune in to ESPN 1025 The Game every Tuesday afternoon at 4:30 for ESPN's Trevor Maddich joining me, Jared Stillman, on Stillman & Company as we dive deep into the college football world and all the latest from the SEC. It's all brought to you by Houston Clinic Orthopedics, when experience matters.
Signs First is the official sign company for 1025 The Game. Go to sfnash.com.
Race fans, it's time to fire up the engines at everyone's favorite local track, the Fairgrounds Speedway. Make your plans for the U.S. Legends Spring Nationals, April 16th. Great family entertainment at the Fairgrounds with the pro late model racing, super trucks, legends, and bandoleros. Get your tickets today at NashvilleFairgroundsSpeedway.racing and experience local racing's best at Nashville's legendary track. It's the U.S. Legends Spring Nationals at the Fairgrounds Speedway coming up this Saturday. Get your tickets today.
If you've missed any of today's show, just search Robby and Rexrode on Apple, Spotify, or your favorite podcast platform.
Tune in for Nashville Sounds Baseball tonight on ESPN 94.9 as the Sounds begin a 6-game road series against the Gwinnett Stripers, the AAA affiliate of the World Series champion Atlanta Braves. The pregame show with Jeff Him starts at 5:50 and first pitch is at 6:05. Nashville Sounds Baseball on ESPN 94.9, presented by 312 Pizza Company, Farm Bureau Health Plans, and Spirited Hive. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game. We are streaming live on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. Our video streaming brought to you by the law offices of Amanda Gentry. Pro Golf coming to Nashville as well this May with the Simmons Bank Open. Text the keyword golf to 615-737-1025 for a chance to win a weekend pass for 4 to enjoy the event in style, including food and drink, plus a Predators gift pack, including a polo shirt, golf balls, and an umbrella. Text golf now to 615-737-1025 to be entered to win. Speaking of the Predators, Chris Mason coming up here in just a few minutes at 9:30. We'll get his thoughts on the Preds as they take on the San Jose Sharks coming up tonight at Bridgestone Arena. Puck drop 7 o'clock, pregame 6 o'clock here on ESPN 102.5 The Game. A lot of reaction earlier to the who is the closest team to winning a professional or closest professional team to winning a championship here in our state. We did have one vote for Vols baseball.
Yes.
We're talking pros.
If we included college and pro, then I'd put them first. I mean, they're my favorite to win it.
Yeah.
Max Hurst, are they your favorite to win it all? Vols baseball, Tony Vitello.
Sure.
That doesn't sound like that just sounds like you're just sort of like, I don't really want to talk about this.
Wow.
Well, I don't think I've seen a second of any Big 12 type team this year. Or ACC team.
Yeah, but isn't the SEC the best? Doesn't it just mean more?
They will have the most teams in the regionals, as usual, but they also may cannibalize each other's in supers, as we see every year.
Sure, I didn't ask you if they will definitely win it, but are they the favorite to win it? They're the clear favorite. Am I wrong?
Yeah, they have to be.
Okay.
Right?
All right, then yes was the answer then. I'm just sure.
I'm just saying.
Whatever.
My Big 12 and ACC baseball knowledge right now is not where it will be in June.
And you're just going to discount the Big Ten? No, I'm just kidding. Big Ten sucks.
Big baseball conference.
Shout
out to Michigan.
I do love all the games they play in the Vikings Stadium.
Yeah.
Laid out like the Metrodome.
Yes.
Have you not seen this, Joe?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. It's great.
Really?
They bring 3 or 4 Big Ten teams in together for a weekend.
Yeah.
They do it up like the Metrodome old baseball layout with the crazy high right field, and they play in an 80,000-seat stadium with like 35 people there.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
great.
It's
Really?
awesome.
I didn't know this. Okay.
Well, you have
I'll
to
check it
because
out.
it's probably still 30 degrees there right now.
Yeah, exactly. Now you're giving me Kent Herbeck and Kirby Puckett nightmares from the 80s.
With the hockey boards on the outfield wall.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. God, I hated those teams. Anyway, yeah, Tennessee would be number one. Tennessee baseball would be number one. But if you're going just by professional teams, you got four possibilities. Actually, it's actually a pretty good situation when you consider that none of the 4 are just completely dismissed like that. Oh, that team's garbage. Although some Preds fans apparently would rather their team be garbage so they can try to get the number 1 pick at some point.
Liam on the text line says, last time I thought or cared about anything Memphis was the last Oilers game there in 97. It looked great in the rearview mirror. This coming from Liam on the text line.
Is that the game against the Steelers when it was all Steelers fans?
Probably.
I've heard a lot about that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's interesting. I really am interested. In fact, I want to look at where the poll is right now that Max put out there because I would love for this city to get wrapped up in the Grizzlies and get wrapped up in the NBA. I would be giddy about that. I have my doubts. Now, I heard, in fact, I meant to ask Darren this yesterday on their show. He said that they've gotten feedback that tells them definitely people are into the Grizzlies. I'd like to know what that is.
Well, I would too, and how that, especially now, how does that translate come playoff time? Because I fully believe this because I'm kind of this way too. Like, I paid attention to the Grizzlies, but I don't really care in the regular season. Now that playoff time, I'm in. I hope they make a deep run. I'm a Heat fan, so I'm going to be watching the Miami Heat. But, I mean, if the Grizzlies go on a big run, I'm all in, baby.
Well, I mean, look, for the NBA and NHL, both for me, I watch, obviously I watch the Preds a lot because I write about the Preds. So that's totally different. But I watch a game here and there in the NHL. I watch a game here and there in the NBA in the regular season.
Yep.
Fair amount of the Warriors because I live in a Warriors household somehow.
You do.
But really, even that, it's like, okay, watch the end of a game or something. Playoffs, completely different. I will give me every second of any Stanley Cup playoff game. Give me every second of any NBA playoff game. And then when you actually have a local team that can do something in either of them, I think it's great. It's a very underrated part of the sports year to me.
William and Madison on the text line says, I'm not an NBA fan now, but one of my favorite memories as a kid was when Larry Bird stole the ball against the Pistons in the playoffs. My guess breaking the heart of young Joe Rexrode. This coming from William from Madison on the text line.
Can we ban people on the text line? Can we?
Oh, man.
I've talked about that play on this show several times, William.
You have.
Now you've made me angry.
Rex rant.
You don't even understand how upset I was. I was watching that game live in Dhahran, Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
So it was what time? It was like 2 a.m. It was a school night, and I was watching that game because that's how much I cared about those Detroit Pistons. Thank you for bringing that up. I'm really mad at you now.
Got a lot of Caleb's on the text line this morning. Keith texting in says, there's more Caleb's this morning than in the Old Testament. Keith on the text line. Could be a lot of Caleb's out there. We welcome all Caleb's. We had a texter earlier ask us if Caleb Farley was the texter, talking about the Titans drafting injured players.
If he rebukes it in the name of Jesus, and we know it's him. It's a good week for that.
It is. Nate on the text line says, I wonder how much angst there still is between Memphis and Nashville due to the Oilers-Titans temporary time in Memphis, and fans got mad when they left, even though they knew it was going to happen. It's coming from Nate on the text line.
Well, yeah, there's still – in fact, so we had Jeff Calkins on earlier. He wrote a really good piece. I think he may have still been at the Commercial Appeal when he did this. Really good piece about that whole thing, about Memphis and the whole Titans thing and how some people still harbor resentment and everything. It was interesting. I think it was when the Titans maybe were making their run a couple years ago. But also, I've heard from people, and I think I actually got into this a little bit in that Morant column I talked about, that more and more – in Memphis, you see on Sundays that places have the Titans games on. Like for a long time, no way, forget about it, put anything but them on. But now it's kind of, things are going to thaw over time, aren't they? They should.
I mean, there's a natural rivalry for whatever reason between Memphis and Nashville anyway. That's always been fascinating to me. But, yeah, I think it's softening a little bit. They are the Tennessee Titans.
Well, and that's the difference. So you would never expect someone from Philly to root for the Steelers or someone from Pittsburgh to root for the Flyers, right? But they also have competing teams in those leagues. So when you have a state like this where we still obviously don't have the inventory of pro teams that a lot of states do, I mean, you can be a Titans, Preds, and Grizzlies fan.
Yeah.
I don't see why not, but some people have that hang-up about either city.
Coming up next, we'll be joined by Chris Mason, Preds TV analyst. We'll get his thoughts on the Preds as they take on the San Jose Sharks coming up tonight. Show us your bad Easter photos. From pastel overload to horrible bunny costumes, we want to see it all. You could win a family 4-pack of tickets to a Nashville Sounds home game or the grand prize of a 2-night stay at Gaylord Opryland Hotel with access to their fabulous Soundwaves water park as well. Submit photos now at thegamenashville.com/Easter for your chance to enter and win. Chris Mason up next. This is Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Bob's Steak and Chop House is a renowned award-winning steakhouse in major cities across the U.S. Nashville is lucky to have a location here in downtown at the Omni Nashville Hotel. Fine dining is brought to a new level at Bob's with awards like the Wine Spectator Award 4 years in a row, TripAdvisor Certificate of Excellence 5 years in a row, and Open Tables Diner's Choice Award 6 years in a row. Fine dining at its best. Bob's Steak and Chop House, open Wednesday through Saturday, 5 to 10 p.m. in the Omni Nashville Hotel. Complimentary valet parking is always available.
Hey, it's Chase McCabe, and BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks, welcomes you with a special offer on the NHL, an official sports betting partner of BetMGM. Simply place a $10 moneyline wager on any game, and if either team scores a goal, you're going to win $200 in free bets, regardless of your bet's outcome. Just use the bonus code 1025GAME200 when you make your first bet. Plus, you'll earn BetMGM rewards points that can be redeemed for online bonuses or converted into comps for rooms, restaurants, and more at over 20 MGM resorts nationwide. Just download the app or go to BetMGM.com and use the bonus code 1025GAME200 to win $200 in free bets if a goal is scored in the game you wager on. Visit BetMGM.com for full list of terms and conditions. 21 years of age or older to wager. Tennessee only. New customer offer. All promotions are subject to qualification and eligibility requirements. Rewards issued as non-withdrawable free bets or site credit. Free bets expire 7 days from issuance. For problem gambling support, call the Tennessee Red Line at 800-889-9789.
Bank of England Mortgage has been helping Americans live the dream of home ownership for over 100 years. Since their humble beginnings in England, Arkansas, they've gone from a community bank to a nationwide mortgage lender. BOE delivers innovative mortgage products with superior customer service and the most knowledgeable loan officers in Nashville. Find your nearest location in Middle Tennessee at BOE1214.com or call 615-823-1215. Bank of England Mortgage is a division of Bank of England Mortgage. Equal housing lender, member FDIC, NMLS 418-481.
Hey, it's Jared for TriStar Moving. If you're looking to move, you need to give my friends at TriStar Moving a call. At TriStar Moving, you'll get 5-star service throughout the entire process. Everything will be taken care of, from covering your floors, banisters, railings, front door thresholds, furniture, TVs, and more. They took great care of my move and made it as stress-free as possible. If you're looking to move, give TriStar Moving a call, 615-640-1219, or visit them at nashvillemoving.org/radio and get 5% off your entire move. TriStar Moving, my official movers.
And now a message from Puffs Tissues. It's that time of year when spring's in full swing and explosions of life make allergies really zing. Each sniffle and swipe can be a moment of dread as ordinary tissues make noses angry and red. So keep Puffs by your side to soften all your blows. With Air Puffed Magic, they'll cushion your nose. Especially during allergy season, a nose in need deserves Puffs indeed.
Hey, it's Jared from my friends at Hiller. Hiller is giving away free vacations for you and your family this month. With every purchase of a new whole home generator or select new HVAC systems, Hiller is giving you a free week-long vacation. With every purchase of a new tankless water heater, they're going to give you a free weekend vacation. And they're giving you a Visa Rewards card to help pay for gas to get you there. Choose from over 400 Marriott, Wyndham, Hilton, or Hyatt hotel properties. Take advantage of this unbelievable deal while you can. These deals are only available for a limited time, so schedule today. Visit happyhiller.com for all of the details.
ESPN's Teron Davenport breaks down the Titans like no other.
On the field chemistry, I don't think it's going to be a problem. It's just going to be a process.
Catch TD Mondays at 11, Thursdays at 3, and Fridays at 8. Plus, the Talking with TD podcast drops every Wednesday.
When you draft players, it's not just for one season, it's for a career.
Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey Nashville, this is Gary Bettman. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 1025 The Game.
Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 1025 The Game, brought to you by Little Guys Movers. Here's your chance to be your own boss. Join their team of 30-plus years of profits and good times. Visit littleguysfranchise.com. Robby Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Max Harris are with you on this Tuesday morning. And we go to our 1025 The Game phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. And welcome in Preds TV analyst, former Preds goaltender Chris Mason, brought to you by Coleman Tractor, Middle Tennessee's leading Kubota dealer. See, Mace, what's going on, brother? How we doing?
Not too much, just driving down to the rink, and it's beautiful, gorgeous weather.
Yeah, it's awesome outside today. Really, really looking forward to getting outside in it. Coming up here in just a few minutes. CMA's Preds taking on the Sharks tonight. What do you make of where the Preds sit right now in the standings and the opportunity starting tonight with 5 consecutive games at Bridgestone Arena?
Well, I honestly think that, I know they only got 1 point in the last 4, but I think their defensive game is maybe the best 2 back-to-back games in a row in terms of the defensive side of things. I thought Florida, they did a great job. They only gave up, 2 shots to Huberdeau, 1 to Barkov. They didn't really have much. Huberdeau gets the empty net goal. I thought they contained, one of the highest-powered offensive teams in the league quite well. And then Pittsburgh, same thing. I thought they did a really good job of keeping most of the threats to the outside, kind of perimeter stuff. Obviously, these teams are going to get, some chances, and they're going to create on their own, and there's, pretty much nothing you can do with it. When a team executes, just like on the flip side when the Predators are making plays. But defensively, I like where their game's at right now, and I think going down the stretch, the last little while prior to these 2 games, that was kind of my biggest concern was, giving up free chances, turnovers, coverage plays, maybe a little aggressive, a little too aggressive pushing forward, some maybe decision-making, soft passes through the middle. But the last 2 games, they've kind of shored that up. So, the homestand here, this is big. I mean, you're not going to get any help from anybody. You got to do it yourself, and I know that's what they want to do. The competition varies, starting with San Jose, who everyone thinks, you got to beat San Jose. That's 2 points to the bank. Well, if you don't play the right way, it's not. I think we've seen that, more than enough here lately. But you got to take care of home ice. They've been good there all year, so hopefully they start with a strong performance tonight.
C-Mace, Malkin gets 4 games, a 4-game suspension, for the cross-check the other day. But, of course, there's no help there for the Preds, and I wouldn't suggest that is why the Preds lost, but I think he should have gotten a major, and it should have been a different outcome, and I don't understand Borowiecki getting a penalty. So when you look at that situation, what needs to be different about the way the NHL does things in situations like that?
I think everybody agrees with you that, the TNT panel there is saying, their guess on it was 3 to 10 games, vicious cross-check. I don't know. I feel like they're able to review the double minor. I think something in that situation, you got to huddle up with the crew, and you got to get that right, because I guarantee you, if that happened the other way around, Borowiecki would have got a 2, 5, and a 10. He would have been out of the game. And that's probably what it should have been for Malkin, and then obviously reviewed by the league, and the Department of Player Safety does whatever it does with it. But I just think that's terrible, because for a fact, I shouldn't say a fact, but you've got a pretty good feeling that had Borowiecki been the one that dished out that cross-check, and the fact that Borowiecki stays up, I mean, you got to get those ones right. The little hooks or the little cross-checks that get dives, it's tough for the referee to get that right during the game, and you got to live with the good ones and the bad ones. But those ones, I mean, that's a pretty pivotal call in a hockey game. You got a 2-minute power play, or you got 7 minutes on the power play with it was a 2 and a 5. So that was definitely, it's tough to swallow, but at the end of the day, as a player, you just go out there and you can only, deal with what the situation is. And I thought they did a good job, but it was just too bad because, it could have been 2 points instead of 1.
Chris Mason on with us here on Robby and Rexrode on our phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. See, Mace, I mean, look, there are pros and cons to any way you do the lineup. If you're John Hines, if you go back to Forsberg, Johansson, Duchesne, you can load up, and there's a lot of offense that could come from that line, but it takes away from other lines. If you split them up, maybe they're not quite as effective individually as they would be together. There's a bunch of different ways you could look at it. What do you make of the decision that John Hines has made to split Forsberg and Duchesne up, and what do you think is the strategy that should be employed moving forward as they get closer to the playoffs?
Well, I really, in theory, I like what that move does, because it gives you 2 lines essentially that should be able to produce offensively. I know he'll put Johansson, Duchesne, and Forsberg after they kill penalties, just because those guys don't kill some offensive zone stuff. But maybe on an icing, we'll load those guys up. But in theory, if they can get some production on that second line and the top line can continue to produce, and you can get those guys back together on the power play, it makes a lot of sense for me. But I guess you just have to see where it goes, because it's the well's kind of dried up a little bit here, but you're playing against a couple tough teams. I didn't expect Florida to be as good as defensively as they were. Maybe it was because it was the second game of back-to-back. They locked it down a little more, but I like that. So for me, if I'm the coach or whoever, I'm willing to try to stick with that because essentially I think in playoffs you're going to need two lines that have, some offensive threats on them. So we'll have to see where this goes. But, you could always go back and load up that line. And it seemed to matter to them who they were playing against. They were getting it done night in, night out. So that's always been ace in the hole, I think, behind.
C-Mays, how are you feeling right now about UC Saros and where he is? Had some ups and downs. We've talked about the workload. It's been huge. It's been way different than the rest of his career. Where do you think he is right now?
Oh, I think he's in a great spot. I really do. I thought, maybe a couple weeks ago I was thinking, maybe there might be some fatigue. I thought with not just him, but the way the team was playing. And, for him, you just can't sustain that Superman, almost perfect style of play where you're winning games every single night. And a lot of those games, let's be honest, they didn't deserve to win because of the types of chances and the amount of quality chances they were giving up. It just, you just can't sustain that. And as good as UC Saros is, and even his bad times or his down, they're not that down. He's been a pillar of consistency this season, but I really like how his game right now. I thought in Florida he was fantastic the game before boys, and but it'll be interesting to see how this week. You just mentioned all the home games. Does he play every game this week? I don't know. We'll have to see. I guess the results will dictate some of that. I know they haven't went Saros on back-to-back nights, but I think his game is in order right now, and we're getting down to the nitty-gritty. So this is the best time to heat back up.
C-Mace, do you feel the momentum kind of sliding Yossi's way in terms of the Norris Trophy conversation right now?
I really feel, and you guys follow this too, just as much as I do, but I really feel there's been a narrative shift. And I think once, everybody started talking about just the layers of Yossi's game, how well-rounded he is, and then obviously what Yossi's done in March and just continues to do is, he's having a historic season, and this is one of the things I think when you get, ingrained in sports and you're following the storylines, he's having one of the greatest seasons in the history of the NHL. And Cale Makar's having an awesome season. Even if Cale Makar gets the 30 goals, which is absolutely incredible, he should win the Norris on any other given year. But guys have scored 30, and it's been attained here in the last 15, 10 years. Nobody, if Yossi continues to pace he's on right now, nobody's done this in over 30 years. And you're talking, he's in the company of some of the greatest defensemen to ever play the game. Bobby Orr, Paul Coffey, Dennis Pop. You go on and on and on. And Yossi's right up there with any of these guys. So I really do, when I put my stamp on, hey, this guy's got to, win the Vezina, or this guy's got to win, I don't say it unless I 100% mean it. And I really do think Yossi, if you look at some of the other guys, the points that he generates of the team's percentage that he is in on is up there with Connor McDavid, some of the best forwards. The next closest defenseman is like 7 or 8% less in the National Hockey League. So I really believe that he should be under serious consideration for the Hart Trophy. I think the Norris is a lock, but that's just me.
Chris Mason, Preds TV analyst, former Preds goaltender, our guest here on Robby and Rexrode, joins us every Tuesday morning at 9:30, brought to you by Coleman Tractor, Middle Tennessee's leading Kubota dealer. C-Mace, great stuff as always, man. Appreciate you taking time to be with us.
Thank you, guys. Just enjoy the beautiful day, okay?
Yeah, we will do our best. You do the same. Preds taking on the Sharks tonight at Bridgestone Arena. We'll take your thoughts on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025. Tickets for the Music City Grand Prix, which is coming up on August the 5th through the 7th, go on sale tomorrow at 10 a.m. 1025 The Game has your chance to win 3-day passes to the Music City Grand Prix right now. Just text the word RACE to the Game Nashville text line at 615-737-1025 to be qualified to win. More details on the Music City Grand Prix can be found at MusicCityGP.com. This is Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 1025 The Game.
From the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center,
I'm Fox 17 News Code Red meteorologist Dan Guthrie. Drying out for the rest of the day. Partly to mostly cloudy skies out there and a high temperature of 78 degrees. Our next round of storms arrives overnight.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Realizing Geico's great service and licensed agents are available at your fingertips is like realizing the plastic piece that comes with your pizza isn't a tiny doll table. It's to keep the box from touching the pizza.
Hey, the pizza's stuck to the box. Where's that little plastic thing?
Dolly needed it for her tea party.
It's something that's been right there in front of you all along, like the dedicated Geico claims team available to you in the event of an accident to get you back on the road quickly, or how your smartphone charges faster when you put it on airplane mode.
Wow, what if I put it on rocket mode?
It's something you can't believe you never realized before, like how Geico's industry-leading app lets you pay your bill, file a claim, manage your policy, or summon help when you need it. Or how those holes in your shower caddy are there so you can store your shampoo bottles upside down.
Showers happen fast when you're not waiting on shampoo.
Great service. It's just one of the many reasons to switch to Geico. They're all right there in front of you.
In the NBA play-in tournament, there are no sure things except one. Bet at least $20 in same-game parlays on FanDuel Sportsbook, and you'll get an instant bonus, win or lose. Joe Rexrode here to let you know, not only do you get to enjoy the NBA's best duking it out for the right to advance to the playoffs, but FanDuel's giving all customers a bonus for getting in on the action. Oh, and the more you bet, the bigger your bonus. I think the 8-seed Clippers look really good to advance. Of course, there's so many different things you can do. Same-game parlays. Check that popular same-game parlays tab on FanDuel. That's one that we've pre-assembled. A lot of fans can get in on that and really do well. FanDuel is an official partner of the NBA. The app is safe. It's easy to use. Trust me there. And you get your winnings fast. If you're new to FanDuel, sign up today with promo code Joe102 and make every moment more. Don't just watch the NBA play-in tournament. Be a part of it. Bet at least $20 in same-game parlays and get an instant bonus, win or lose. You must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. Bonus issued is now available with free bets that expire in 7 days. Max bonus $100. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line, 800-899-789.
Hey everybody, it's me, Chase McCabe, and I'm so excited to be talking about my go-to drink when I'm out and about, Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey. Screwball is the first and most awarded peanut butter whiskey in the world. It's an original, just like me, the suit. I take Screwball as a shot, but it's great on the rocks, in an old-fashioned, an espresso martini, and many more. So next time you're out and about, ask for Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2022, Screwball Spirits, LLC, San Diego, California. Whiskey with natural flavors, 35% alcohol by volume.
Welcome to Allstate, where you can save just by being you. DriveWise in the Allstate mobile app gives you personalized driving feedback, and by adding it to your policy, you can save for driving safe just by being yourself. Allstate. Here, better protection costs a whole lot less. You're in good hands with Allstate. Click, call, or visit allstate.com to save today.
Not available in every state. Savings based on DriveWise and other safe driving discounts. Savings vary. Subject to terms and conditions. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Sometimes their glass is half full.
That was unbelievable. It was the best NFL draft they've ever had.
Sometimes glass half empty.
What are we getting ourselves into here? Tough game.
And sometimes it's all about the numbers.
One win, and they've gone on this streak, and now they're at 500.
Hang out with Darren, Donick, and Chase from 10 to 2 during your workday. Presented by Curacion CBD on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Watch live on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube.
This is Robby and Rexrode on ESPN 1025 The Game.
Stop by Social Furniture at 5412 Charlotte Avenue in Nashville and enter for a chance to win a pair of tickets to see the Preds take on the Chicago Blackhawks coming up at Bridgestone Arena on Saturday. Also, don't forget to check out their new sofas while you're in there. You must be 18 or older to enter the contest. No purchase is necessary. Also, make sure you join ESPN 1025 The Game for the Music City Celebrity Golf Tournament, benefiting Folds of Honor, coming up on May 16th at Hermitage Golf Course. Put your team together and come play with the athletes, musicians, and other local celebrities. You can sign up at thegamenashville.com/golf. What a jam bringing us back in today.
See, yeah, I mean, it's fine. See, I feel I don't want to. Max just told me that he remembers when he played When I'm 64, and I was like, yeah, why are you playing this song? Early Beatles, I'm not a huge fan of. It's okay. It's still good. It's not bad. It's good.
Okay.
But
take your word for it.
Well, you take their last 5 albums, and it's the greatest rock and roll ever made.
And what are the last 5?
So let's see. Well, I actually might include Rubber Soul, but Revolver, Sgt. Pepper's, Magical Mystery Tour, White Album, and Abbey Road. It's unmatched. Like no other band can even.
See, I know
I don't even count Let It Be.
See, don't we love how like we have these conversations about sports and about like how all these athletes get better over time, and like there's this belief system out there that the 80s and 90s in the NBA was apparently just like peak athleticism and peak NBA. But we talk about all the time here on the show, you know, the athletes have actually gotten better. Things have gotten better. But musically, we just leave everything behind. The Beatles were as good as it gets. Never gets any better.
I don't know about that comparison, man. Athletes get better because they get bigger, faster, stronger. I mean, is there someone better than Picasso? I don't know.
Could be. Bob Ross?
Are
you kidding me?
I'm not an art.
Yes, there is one better than Picasso.
I think in art you could have like the greatest sculptor was like lived in the 600s. Isn't that possible? Am I wrong about that?
Is sculpting less of a habit now or more? I don't know the answer to that. There's more people.
But I think you have to separate art from competition, don't you?
Sure.
Okay. The Beatles are the best ever. Period. Okay. End of discussion.
You weren't ready for that Bob Ross comment, were you?
That was very good.
Gator Tim on the text line says, the Steelers game that was 95% Steelers fans was actually at Vanderbilt in 98. If Joe was there, he would claim that it was 75% Titans fans, though. This is coming from Gator Tim on the text line.
Nice.
So I guess Gator Tim is one of the ones that was at the Bills game where there was 90% Bills fans there.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's actually – I'm not saying that there wasn't a 98 game at Vanderbilt, but 100%. I've read the accounts. Liberty Bowl, 97.
Oh, yeah.
Steelers fans took over the place. So you're actually wrong, even though you're partially right, I guess. Like, I'll believe you that there was the Steelers came here the next year, too, but that's not the game we're talking about.
John the mailman texting in says, take the whole Beatles discography and throw it right in the trash. This coming from John the mailman. I love how this argument comes up like every 4 weeks here on the show.
I mean, I'm not even going to engage in this crap. Not even going to engage. But Huffy throws out Rocket Raccoon.
Yeah.
White Album best ever. Yeah, it's close, man. White Album or Abbey Road. It's close. It's so close.
Keith texting in says, I will not listen to any Bob Ross slander. There's no slander here.
No one's ripping Bob Ross. I hadn't thought about the Picasso leading to Bob Ross.
You think Picasso could have had a TV show? I think not.
Yeah, what would Picasso have done on public access television? Probably would have failed.
Pred's taking on the Sharks tonight. By the way, David Poyle joining Darren Donick and Chase coming up at 11:15. So interested to hear that conversation with David Poyle at 11:15 this morning. We talked about this earlier. Any concern to you? Any more concern to you probably is the better way to put it, that it's April the 12th and there's still no contract for Philip Forsberg. I feel like it's gotten lost in the weeds a little bit. Obviously, there's a playoff race going on right now and a lot of things happening, but April 12th, still no contract extension for Philip Forsberg at this point.
Yeah, I think there is some concern, and I would like every question to David Poyle today to be about the Philip Forsberg contract. Let's get some details going here. Let's get some numbers out there.
So, David, when did this conversation begin? What number did you start with? What number did he start with? And let's just go from there.
I mean, if you believe you're right as a GM, throw it out there for the public to know. Maybe that public pressure will influence Forsberg's agent, and you'll have a happy conclusion to this today.
Maybe.
Some point. I mean, if it's trending toward you're going to lose him, go to desperate measures.
Why not?
Tell Darren Donick and Chase all about it. At least, I mean, I am interested to hear. Like, because, of course, we read into tone and word usage and everything, and sometimes totally read wrong, like the Combine every year.
Well, it's interesting. I mean, we've talked about this. I've always been under the impression that eventually a deal is going to get done because I know, like, he wants to be here. But it's not always as simple as that in terms of contract negotiations. So I said it earlier. I'll stand by it. Like, I still believe if you force me to pick right now, is he going to hit free agency or is he going to re-sign with the Predators? I'm still saying he's going to re-sign with the Predators. But I'm a little bit more raising my eyebrows at that than I was this time a couple of weeks ago. Like, when the deadline came and went, I thought to myself, okay, well, a lot of people are going to freak out about this, but it'll get done. And now that it's been almost a month later, there's still plenty of time to get it done before free agency begins. But it does make me wonder, like, how far apart are they, and can you bridge this gap at any point?
I figured it'd be about a week after the deadline, because that does happen sometimes.
Sure.
I just figured, okay, now here it is. Everyone's freaking out. Come together, get serious, get it done. So, yeah, I think the concern level has gone up, and I agree with you that Forsberg wants to be here. But look, if Forsberg thinks that someone on the open market is just way beyond what Poyle is offering him, and this is his chance, this is it. This is your time to get paid. And again, maybe I've thought all along things got better in terms of the outlook for this when the team got better, and when when Forsberg could look at the future of this team and say, okay, this nucleus actually can go forward with the young guys coming in and with Saros and everything else and be winners, and maybe there's a little hesitation there. I don't know.
We'll see if he gets to 40 tonight. If he can get a couple goals tonight, he'll be at 40. Him and Duchesne tied, by the way, in the race for the goal-scoring lead for the Predators. And we had a text earlier say maybe if he gets 40, that's the contract's already agreed to. It's $9 million if he gets 40, and it's $8 if he doesn't. So we'll see what happens on that front. Max Hers, our poll question at 102.5 The Game regarding the Memphis Grizzlies is closed. What are the results?
It has closed. And I'm watching every game. The most emphatic yes won with a resounding 46% out of the four options. Next was the least enthusiastic result, which was who's Steven Adams. I'm worried people thought that was like a Jeopardy-style answer now that I read it back.
Yeah.
And then third was the second most optimistic, which was will follow when I can. That was 19%. Who's Steven Adams had 27%, by the way, so it's 46 resounding yes, 27 resounding no, 19% mild yes, and then 7% was the second most negative, which was only from West Finals on. So they got to win a couple rounds for you.
There you go.
That's overall pretty positive toward the Grizzlies.
Yeah, almost half.
I would say so.
Out of four choices.
Not bad.
All right. We're all Grizzlies tomorrow. Let's go.
That does it for us today here on Robby and Rexrode. We'll be back 6 a.m. tomorrow. Darren Donick and Chase up next.